Hi, Michael.
How are you?
I'm good, Michael. How are you?
Good. We've already had this conversation off camera, but it's nice to have it again.
Yeah, it's nice to hear your voice in these times, my friend.
Yes, exactly. Hi, everybody who's watching. Um, this is the 19th episode of the Messy Desk live stream conversations and concerts of a sort. And I'm really excited to have Adam Cicchillitti with me, although there is no H after the C at the beginning of his name, as I discovered, misspelling it.
Yeah, that was a funny conversation we had. Eh?
Yeah. Your name is really hard to spell, man. I double checked it. I double and triple checked it so many times on the preview for this stream. I was like, did I spell it right? Did I spell it right?
Yeah, you join like every other person that's ever met me in my life.
Yeah, exactly. And I've searched your name in Facebook to try to find you, and it's like it doesn't show up because I put CH, and then it's like you have no friends with this. I'm like, wait a second.
You have no friends.
Yeah, well, you have no friends, exactly. Story of my life, but I'm always like, but I'm friends with him on Facebook. How come it's not coming up? And oh, Ben Diamond says hello. Wow, award for the fastest comment goes to Ben Diamond. Hi, Ben. As per usual, anyone who thinks the audio levels are weird, tell me, because I like to receive criticism. I am a musician after all.
You're a musician, yeah.
Oh, Adam could go up in volume. Thank you, Ben. He's already on it. Awesome. Nice. Okay, so I'm excited to have Adam on. I don't know when exactly we first really met. Was it at Montreal? Must have been at Montreal.
Montreal International Guitar Competition, Patrick Kearney.
Yes. I met a lot of people there for the first time, like a lot of the Ontario people and Quebec people. So I think that's the first time we actually met, but I was sort of aware of you for a while because you're quite active online and stuff. And
Yeah, sometimes too active, but
exactly, for sure. But I'm really excited to have Adam on. He's got a lot of really cool projects going on. He's going to talk about, and yeah. With that, have you got all the sharing done, Adam? Do you want to?
I'm still sharing
You're
gates.
still sharing?
Say five more things.
Five more things. Okay. Well, hello everybody, and by the way. There is a donation link if you want to support Adam for his awesome work, as well as the stream. You can check out the Patreon.
Oh yeah, whatever is donated, I'll give that to the Ottawa Guitar Society as well as.
There you go. Yeah.
Like Amy did.
Yeah, fundraise for an awesome organization if you donate through PayPal, and you can also check out the Patreon, which has some cool options. But anyhow, yes, Adam, I'm very happy you're here. So for the viewers who don't know, I think a lot of the viewers probably know you, but do you want to give us a quick SparkNotes version of who you are?
Hello, people. I'm Adam. I am a recording artist and guitarist living in Ottawa. I grew up in Montreal. I moved to Ottawa to do my master's degree there, and then I met my wife, and I got married, and we got a dog. And then we got another dog.
Nice.
And then, and we got a house out there. So I guess I've basically committed myself to Ottawa, which is not really a bad thing because I know in one of your past streams, Mike, you were talking about Ottawa as kind of being a hub of guitar, and honestly, it's absolutely true.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing against Montreal because I do my doctorate at McGill, so I'm out there every week essentially. I'm done with private lessons with Jerome, but I still go there because I have to do my research, and I meet with Steve to play. And for people who don't know, anybody listening to the stream, that's Steve Cowan. And who you had, I think, was he your first guest on the show?
No, I think it was like 6th or 4th or something. First guest was Nathan.
First guest was Nathan.
Yes, but yeah. So,
another Ottawa-based guitarist.
Yeah, but you're doing the same thing as me. I mean, I live in a city 2 hours away from the city I study in, so I go there once a week. Well, not now because coronavirus, but I was going there once a week too, so I kind of know how that life is, you know.
But are you taking the train, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I take the train. Yeah, 2 hours each way. I guess is it the same distance to Montreal or no?
2 hours on the nose, man.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Okay, same thing.
Yeah.
But do you couch surf? Do you crash on someone's couch when you're there?
Yeah, I crash on my parents.
Okay.
In a nice warm bed.
Oh, nice. So
yeah, I'm really lucky.
Awesome.
Well, that's where I grew up, right? So.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Cool. Nice. And before we talk more, because we're going to talk a bunch, I think, we're going to play some music. Virginie says, woohoo, hi. You already mentioned Virginie. We're going to play some music. So what's this piece we're going to listen to? It's something written by you.
Ooh.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about it a little bit?
Actually, this since we were talking about my doctor really quickly, this was a cool assignment that Jerome Cham, who was my teacher, who won the GFA in 2005. For people who don't know Jerome, I'd be very surprised if there's anyone in the stream that didn't know him. He gave us this really neat assignment to write our own piece and have it performed by someone else in the studio. We have studio classes every 2 Thursdays
Cool.
at the time, and yeah, basically, what I wanted to do was write a couple of studies that could focus on flaws in my technique. The second one was interesting because it didn't really come from a flaw in my technique. It was just I was working on a piece, River and Cave by Jason Noble, and I came across this really cool arpeggio pattern that I fell in love with, and I kept repeating and repeating and repeating.
Hmm.
And then I was like, okay, I got to turn this into something. So I kind of took it in my own direction.
Nice.
But this is actually part of two preludes that I wrote last year and just had them published. That were the first one was to really focus on my left hand slurs because I really sucked at left hand slurs, man. I don't know about how you are, but
They're hard.
they're hard, man.
Yeah.
And so I was like, how could I incorporate as many left hand slurs into one piece as possible while still making it into an interesting musical composition? And so that was what happened. And then from there, I decided to keep going, and I came up with the piece you're about to hear now.
Cool. Yeah, slurs are hard. I'm playing Carlo's version of the Chacon, and he like puts a lot of slurs in instead of scales. Yeah, it's hard. Anyhow,
Yeah, but
um,
for lots of those passages, especially in the Chacon, man, the figuring out how to do the slurs properly for those 30-second note
yeah,
pages is really helpful.
yeah. But I mean, some of them too. If you follow like the proper bowings and stuff, and the proper groupings of notes, it makes the slurs even more difficult because they involve more spreading and stuff. And it's just yeah, it's tricky, but it's helpful for the music for sure.
How about do you use any Campanello effects when you're
Yeah,
playing it?
there's a bunch. Yeah, there's a bunch of places where he wanted Campanella
Yeah, for
texture.
people who don't know what that means, it's like a harp-like effect. So you do lots of cross-string fingerings.
Hmm.
And I remember the first time, actually, it was at a Montreal competition. I heard Sam Hines play the Chacon, and there were some really, really hard 30-second note passages that I used to struggle with. And he played it like it was sounded like it was a harpsichord, just like this one massive gesture.
Yeah,
And I was like completely blown away. And I remember that was like one of the first times where I was like, man, I should be doing a lot more cross-string stuff, you know?
yeah. It helps a lot, and but I mean, it helps, but it also can't be used as a crutch if it's not right for the texture. I think you know.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely, absolutely. But I think in the Chacon, honestly, because you're playing a guitar at the end of the day, right? You're not playing a violin.
hmm
I know you want to stay kind of true to the violin, and they're going to do a lot of actually
Well, I mean, it depends.
articulation of everything. Whereas I think we can get away with a lot of Campanella stuff.
Yeah, we can. I mean, there are passages where it makes total sense because the bow marking is like an entire long, one direction for the bow, and then there are other places where they're supposed to do like back and forth. So playing without campanella makes sense there too. But yeah, it's very helpful.
Well,
Um,
it's good that you're actually going through the process of going through the violin edition and looking at the bowings.
well,
I
I'm
think
mostly just
most.
believing Carlo because he put in his score he put the bowings in, but still, I'm like he got it right. I'm not gonna double check.
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right on, man.
yeah. Anyhow, so okay, your prelude. We're gonna listen to your prelude. So this is the second prelude, right? And who played it then? If you wrote it for someone else to play originally.
Actually, I wrote it as two pieces. So it was a guy named Griffin,
Okay.
and he played only the first one. He didn't play the second one
Okay.
because I hadn't written out the second one yet because I just wasn't. Actually, I can maybe screen share like an image of the second one. It's really, for people who have ever worked with Finale, it's a nightmare to notate with. And I actually had to meet Jason Noble, and he gave me like a tutorial on using like feathered beams in Finale.
Mm-hmm.
Is it interesting for the stream?
Maybe you can pull it up while we're listening to the piece, and then we can show it after. Would be cool.
Okay, so while we listen, I'm gonna pull
Yeah,
that
yeah.
up, and then I'll screen
Also,
share after.
Mark Hertz says, "Hey, Mike and Adam, nice to see you guys." And Joanna Joy Newshots, who I didn't know you knew, says, "Wow, hey Adam, great to see you. Last time was SFCM 2012."
Oh my God! Hello, hello.
Yeah,
8 years.
she's here in Utrecht, so that's kind of cool. That you guys know each other.
Lots of guitarists out there, man, or what?
No, she's a cellist, I believe. Yeah.
No, I know, but I'm asking you: are
Oh,
there a
in
lot of guitarists out?
Utrecht. In
Yeah.
Utrecht, there's almost none because there's no guitar program here.
Ah, okay,
But there's
okay.
a ton in like The Hague and Amsterdam and Maastricht because Zoran, Gabriel, and Carlo, right? And Taiwo Aragoki says, "Nice to you guys." Hi, Taiwo.
Hello.
Okay, so let's listen to your prelude now. And Also, while we're listening to the piece, if people have questions for Adam, think of them, put them in the chat, etc. Alrighty here. Wonderful.
And the crowd goes wild.
Exactly. But you can't hear them.
Oh, I know they're there though.
Yes, they're there. Wonderful. Yeah, that intro has some like Jason Noble-esque textures a little bit.
Well, it's literally I don't know if you've ever heard River and Cave before, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
literally I literally took one of the fragments from his arpeggio. It's one of the sixth or seventh ones that he has repeated with Steve, and turned it into my own fragment, and then like flipped it around and then just repeated it with open strings, and it sounded really cool.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, I could make a piece from this.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Joanna says not SFCM, McGill. Sorry. So she mentioned McGill, 2012. Yeah. Yes. Cool. Yeah. So I guess, have you composed before these two preludes, or was this the first time?
Yeah, I composed two other. I've been composing my whole life, man.
Oh, okay.
When I was 16 years old, I produced my own CD where I sang in like 5 different languages.
Ah, cool. Neat.
But it was really bad.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sure it was good for the time. But I didn't know this about you, that you composed.
Yeah.
Until I saw these publications. Cool.
Yeah, I have 2 other publications with Dawes of pieces, because originally I wanted to do a set of pieces dedicated to the moons of Jupiter, and so I've got 2. They're up on my YouTube pages. I still haven't finished the other 2. I'm doing like the 4 main moons. There's like 60 plus moons around Jupiter, but yeah,
I had no idea. Crazy.
Yeah, but there are 4 main ones: Callisto, Ganymede, Io, and Europa.
Mm-hmm.
And so I dedicated Europa to my wife because it was the first like major composition I had published, and I wrote it for her, and I gave her the score at Christmas, and then I played it for her in front of her family, and everybody cried.
That's very
and
sweet.
And then I did Callisto, which I dedicated to Steve, which he's been playing. Cool. And yeah, now I'm going to the more fiery worlds.
Nice.
Io, Ganymede, yeah.
Awesome. That's super cool. That's a great project.
Thanks, man.
Neat. Speaking of projects, do you want to give people a bit of a rundown of what you're up to these days? Because we're talking about how the past is, or the future is more interesting than the past, probably, and the present.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about that before. How people, everybody that's going to be in the stream pretty much already knows who I am, so I don't need to go and tell them and rehash old stuff. But stuff that we're working on now. I mean, my artistic identity in the last couple of years has definitely been devoted to my duo with Steve. We've got a ton of projects kind of on the horizon. Obviously, we were supposed to be doing a tour with Prairie Debut up in 2021,
Mm-hmm.
which is still supposedly happening. But everything that was scheduled in November this year is most likely going to be canceled. So we're going to be doing live streaming of that.
Mm-hmm.
We got another couple of albums on the horizon as well. And I'm working with a flautist named Lara Deutsch, and she is an incredible player. And it's really fun to kind of explore that repertoire as well. I'm
Cool.
working with a guitar orchestra. I think you talked about that with Steve.
Yep.
And yeah, so we're 12 guitarists and a double bass, and right now
Nice.
this past year we played 13 concerts of a Baroque program around the island of Montreal,
Cool.
and so we've got a couple albums on the horizon for that project, mostly around French music as well.
Nice.
And yeah, I've always got my solo stuff going on the
On the go.
at the
Yeah.
same time. Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. Many things to do. I mean, I think this is. I feel like this has been rehashed a few times on the stream, but it's really important if you want a career to have a lot of different projects like this. I think, like, it's kind of hard to do just one thing now. Um, I think, like,
Impossible.
yeah,
Impossible to do just one thing. I think.
yeah, yeah. I think, yeah. It's just a pure matter of mathematics. Like, if you want gigs, doing a couple different interesting programs, you can't sell the same program all the time everywhere. It just doesn't work.
I mean, you have to be David Russell.
Yeah,
You have to be David Russell.
yeah. If you want to just play solo, yeah,
Yeah. And like David Russell wasn't always David Russell.
yeah,
You have to also remember that.
yeah, for sure.
It's I think this is just the way I feel, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, man, but I think you need to like teaching.
Yeah. Also, that I mean, it's the most reliable source of income. Um, and I mean,
Yeah, and
I
if you don't
feel
like doing it, like
yeah,
don't. I mean, it's just gonna be so hard to fill in all those voids in your career.
yeah. And what do you do when things like this happen where you can't perform? You can still be online and teach at least.
Well,
Um,
we're actually fortunate enough to be able to do that, to move our
exactly.
lessons online and still be selling, a product.
Mm-hmm.
And, obviously when it first started, I was a little bit reticent about the idea of switching on entirely online. But to be honest, man, I almost feel like just staying this way now.
Yeah, it's really convenient in a lot of ways. I mean, I think it works really well for some students and not so well for others. Like with some of my students, I actually have the feeling that like they're progressing faster in a way,
Okay.
and they're getting more information out of it in some ways because of all the detailed notes that I'm putting in PDFs and everything, and the fact that they're recording themselves, etc. But then for some students, it's a bit more of a challenge. So I think it just depends a lot on the student, but it can really work.
So how are you handling it? Are you doing entirely Zoom, or you're doing pre-recorded videos that you comment on, or like?
I'm doing Zoom for the lesson time, but I am asking students who have the capability to make nice recordings of the piece all the way through, which they give to me, and then we watch them together on Zoom because it's a bit clearer, and then I can watch the recording with them, screen sharing so they can see and hear. And I have the score next to that, so that's like on the screen they see the video of them playing, and then the score. And while it's playing, I can pause it and say like, "See here at this point, your left hand," and I can like actually point with the mouse at what I'm
and,
talking
and
about.
you're able to and actually annotate onto the scores through Zoom, yeah.
Yeah, at the same time. And I think
Yeah.
it's just really nice because I know people don't love to watch recordings of themselves, but it's, as you know, one of the most valuable things as a musician that you can
The
do.
most important thing is you're getting better, man.
So in that way, I think it's really, really powerful for the students that, and also better for me that I can hear them at least play through the piece once without any potential connection issues. Because if their internet is not amazing, you can still hear enough to teach them during the lesson and kind of give your feedback, but having a recording to work off of gives you an accurate representation of the sound in the first place. So
100%. Well,
yeah,
this one thing I find about Zoom is that it compresses the audio so much that
yeah,
it's very difficult to hear the actual tone, like what's being produced by the instrument.
yeah,
And in at least with myself, because I work with almost exclusively children, tone is like the priority at the beginning. We're working
right,
really, really, really hard on that, getting that tone, that sound. So I basically have it required to
Record.
send me at least some videos
Yeah.
and not just do all the playing through Zoom, you know?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm trying to do the same thing, and for the kids too. For it, when it's harder for kids through Zoom, at least having the recordings is another goal in the week that helps them be motivated, and so
Yeah, and also like it puts an ear, like an extra ear on their playing that they're like, whoa, maybe I'm making mistakes there. Maybe I should redo this recording, you
yeah,
know?
because they hear it, yeah, rather than just showing up in the lesson and hoping it'll go well.
I've got this kind of project going on with my students right now, with my performance group students, that we're going to do like a montage. You know, a lot of people are doing these
Right.
montages
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
now of like, the a cappella screens where you've got 15 guitarists playing. And um, I'm telling them, like, guys, I have to edit this after. If you guys can't, play this
Yeah.
with
Accurately.
with a metronome accurately,
Yeah.
I will not be able to actually make this video, you
Yeah.
know? And
Yeah.
like all our work we had, with our performance group, we always have at least 5 6 little performances over the course of the year. Two are often out in the community, and then we have our play downs, which in Suzuki is like when everybody in the school gets together
Mm-hmm.
regardless of instrument and plays for each other. And then we have our own recitals, so
Mm-hmm.
they always have a million opportunities to play. And obviously, as you well know, performance is like the best teacher.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we don't have that, because of the crisis, so we're kind of forced to finding innovative ways of making them put
Yeah.
together everything that they've been working on all year. And
Yeah. Well, I'm doing. Me and Jessica and I, since we both teach privately here, are doing like not a public but like a private unlisted YouTube link for the families of the students, and doing like a YouTube recital where they send recordings, and I'm going to put them all together in one video. But it's kind of fun too, because we're pairing our students together. So some of her students are doing pieces with acoustic guitar, like voice and guitar. We're able to like get them to learn each other's parts, and that's kind of fun because even if they can't meet and rehearse, which obviously they're not supposed to now, they can still send the recordings back and forth, and so it's kind of cool.
yeah, so what about you and your? She's your wife, yeah?
We're engaged. Our wedding was supposed to be this summer in Canada.
Ah,
Yeah, in
dude.
in Vancouver, and it's been postponed for a year. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, so you guys decided to go the postponed route.
yeah, yeah.
But
Unfortunately,
anyways, are you still making music together?
I mean, yeah, we're not rehearsing a ton right now because I'm preparing for my final exam, solo
Okay.
rep, which is in like a week and a half. But yeah, we're making a lot of music. We were doing a bunch of like sort of regular smaller gigs here around the Netherlands in our duo, but those are obviously on hold, especially because a lot of them were in like seniors centers and like
Yep.
care homes and stuff. So it's not a good time to go visit those places right now. Um, you know, so that's been all like postponed for the moment. But we had a
Yeah, yeah.
recording we're supposed to do this month also in Maastricht. But anyhow,
So what are you playing with her?
we're doing all Spanish music.
Okay.
Yeah,
So the Fire
Faya,
songs for sure.
Faya Lorca. We're doing the Hauptstock version of the Lorca,
Okay.
and we're doing stuff by Roberto Gerard.
Oh,
And nobody plays these really actually. And also,
I didn't even know he wrote any
yeah,
vocal
he
music.
has seven Spanish folk songs. It's very similar to the Faya, but it's different because it's Gerard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, it's
actually,
gonna
a
be
couple of them are the same ones that Lorca set. So there's like some overlap in the melodies. Um,
the Lorcas are kind of an underappreciated gem, man.
yeah, I think so too. And these Hopstock versions are really nice because Tillman Hopstock's a great composer, so he kind of fills out the harmony a bit. Because the Lorca harmony in the basic version for piano, which a lot of people play a version of on guitar, is quite thin, I would say,
Well, yeah, he
harmonically.
wasn't. He wasn't. I mean, he was a poet before he was a composer,
Yeah,
and a player of music. He was an artist for sure, but yeah,
yeah,
his the information from which he was drawing in terms of music was a little bit limited, and you can see that in the texture of his writing.
yeah, for
On my
sure.
first album, I set a few Lorca to with guitar and voice,
Cool.
and I wrote, like, I just ended up writing half the piece.
Yeah,
Like a lot of the musical interludes are just me. I just like wrote stuff and then
yeah,
put them on the album.
that's basically what Hopstock has done with these versions too.
Yeah.
Um, it's also nice because when I'm looking at it now, like Carlo and I have been looking at it and kind of taking the things that Hopstock has added, and I feel more free to rework things in terms of voicings even in terms of some rhythms. Like I'm kind of like, well, I feel like this harmony I'll use that he came up with, but I'd rather do this rhythm with it, or this texture, or take out this voice or move it by an octave. And I don't feel so
Yeah.
bad about it because I know it's not Lorca's like, actual idea. It's just Hopstock's like adding it on top, so I can kind of, yeah.
I think most guitarists feel a lot of artistic license when they work with that music, though.
Yeah, it's true. For sure. Anyhow, Ben is asking, do you feel like you're getting a lot done with online teaching? I feel like private lessons are really thriving in this environment. Question for both. What do you think, Adam?
Yeah, I mean it's interesting because the group class setting, which is so fundamental to what I do, obviously that suffered in a way
Yeah.
because there's literally no way unless somebody else has an idea. There's no way to play in time with other people with latency
Yeah.
issues, you know?
No, not
So
possible.
what's interesting is that I've used my group lessons more as ensemble skills workshops and technique workshops, so that when I get into my private lesson, because I always have 2 lessons with my students every week, um, I always use my private lessons to focus on repertoire mostly. We always do warm-ups, but in the group setting now I get to really focus on the techniques, you know. So this week we had a Rasguiato workshop in
Cool.
the group class, which I integrated into their lessons. You know, I'll take those principles and then I'll extend them into what they're doing in their repertoire. So it's interesting because I've been able to address a lot of the weaknesses in my students playing that I
Nice.
wasn't able to do before. And obviously you want to go in there and like play with their hands, and but
Yeah.
you actually learn how to like communicate your ideas at a better level, because as soon as you say something, they're going to interpret it a certain way. So you need to be very concise, direct, and you need to know what you're saying before it comes out of your mouth. So you need to think more. It forces you to be more clear, and I think it's improving our teaching. It's just my feeling.
Yeah. On the same sort of wavelength, I think that annotating things on PDF and sending them to the student every week and having a Dropbox with them is really helping. For my students, I see an increased ability to pay attention to what's on the score because that's all they have. They don't have the in-person ability for me to demonstrate easily. I can still demonstrate over video, obviously, but I feel like having to pay more attention to these notes and send back and forth WhatsApp messages with, like, they sometimes send me pictures of what they've written on their score and being like, is this a good fingering? That kind of thing. I like that it's causing us to be more focused on what's written on the page, not because they always have to do what's in the score and per se, but just that as you know, when you practice, if you write things down clearly, write your ideas down clearly on your score, you're more likely to do them, basically. So
especially when you're working with kids, color, you gotta use lots of color.
Yeah, same here.
But you hit it right on the head, man. I don't know, like I don't know if you remember when you came to Ottawa and you gave a masterclass to my students. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. Of course. Yeah. It was great.
So
they were great. They were excellent.
They were a great ensemble, but I remember because I wasn't able to be at that class for whatever reason. I had another commitment, but I saw your concert and we talked after the concert, and I remember you telling me like, the big issue was that they didn't have their scores when they came to get, come to a class.
Sorry, that was a bit cheeky of me, wasn't it?
No. I mean, it's honestly, it's funny, Mike. I've spent my whole life in a context of working from a score with my teacher.
Yeah.
And then Suzuki kind of threw everything for a loop for me.
Right.
I started working with teachers, and I realized that the score is like often a hindrance at the beginning, in the beginning of development.
Yeah, of course.
And the ear is where all the music is happening. The ear, and obviously the kinesthetic, the feel, and but the visual, I think, takes more precedence later. And some students, obviously they're more visual, so they like to have the score, they like to see it, and so you can balance based on that. But often what I would do is I would just work from ear all the time. It wasn't that I wasn't teaching them how to read music. I was doing that as well, but I would teach them to memorize things really, really quickly and to listen all the time. And so they get into the habit where they don't bring their scores anymore because they know everything they do, right?
Yeah.
So they go up.
It's not so much that I don't mind them working by ear. It's really not a problem. It's more like if I'm teaching a masterclass, I'm like, what is this supposed to sound like, this piece?
Exactly. No, I know. It didn't even occur to me to think to like. For me, it's like common sense. Anybody brings a score to a masterclass.
Yeah.
My first masterclass was with Anna Vidovic, and I played the Rodrigo Fandango for her, and I didn't bring a score. I was like,
really?
I'm just gonna play this for her.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And she's just like, so but do you have to music? And I'm like, in my head. Yes.
In my head, yes.
You
Nice.
know?
Anna, just remember how to play the Fandango from that one time you played it or whatever. That's funny. Oh
Yeah. Oh,
man.
she gave it a crazy good concert the night before. It was very. It
Yeah,
was
her
one of the
concerts are
first.
amazing. Yeah.
So clean, man. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
And that two finger tremolo, it's always blows my mind. Or three finger, I mean. Like she doesn't use
Yeah,
the
yeah,
yeah, it's crazy.
yeah.
Um
Not. I'm personally not like completely super drawn to the repertoire choices, but
no, yeah, I mean,
I could sit there and listen to her play them no matter what. It's like David Russell, like
yeah.
the guy is just a genius. Like if you listen to him, like if he's right in front of you and you listen to him, it's the greatest thing you've ever heard in your life. But that music doesn't necessarily draw me
Yeah,
to
yeah.
want to learn it. But
Hmm.
when I listen to him play it, I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah. For sure. No. But I mean that was a funny moment with it. I think they played some wait, did they play no, they
Schubert.
didn't play. They played Schubert. Okay, I was gonna say Yobetz, but Schubert, yeah. And so at
Yeah.
least I knew. Once they started playing, once I knew what the piece was, like, okay, I can work with this. But it was funny. Um, Philippe Rodriguez says hi from France. Oh, Ioana's saying hi. Hi, Ioana. Nice to hang out with you too.
Hey, Joanna, I just saw her in Montreal. Actually, I played a master class. I played the toccata for Judicael,
Ah, cool.
and she was there. Yeah, she was adjudicating the competition. I think that's when I met you. She was an
Yeah,
adjudicator
yeah.
that
She
time.
was my adjudicator that year. I remember.
That she's great.
Yeah, she's gonna be on the show. I think in the beginning of June. I'm trying to remember the exact date. I'll announce it at the end of the show. Don't worry. Stick
Amazing.
around to hear the list of upcoming artists.
Yeah,
Um,
you want to hear an interesting person? Listen to that show.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so time for the gotcha question, Adam.
Oh no.
How do you define classical guitar?
My God. Amy gave such a good answer to this last week that what like I would say insert Amy's thing here.
Yeah, but I asked her to differentiate it from like contemporary, like new music, right?
Yeah, but it's still the I mean, okay. I agree with what she said, and I agree with what Steve was saying that
Do you want to
it's
summarize it for the audience?
it's okay. What was Amy saying last week? She was talking about the sound. The
Yeah,
sound was what was important to her.
yeah.
Um,
As a composer, that makes sense.
as a composer, that's right. It's the way we treat sound,
Yeah.
and I completely agree with that. I think it's the same. It goes the same, even if you're not playing specifically um, classical music. I still
Mm.
think the way that we treat every single nuance, every single note that comes out of our instrument with that special tenderness, you know, every like what's that the pianist Steve was telling me about this Zimmerman, Zimmerman.
Yeah, yeah.
He talked about how like he didn't understand how his students made memory mistakes because every note that they played is supposed to have meaning. So if every note has meaning, how can you forget them? And I
Right.
think
Yeah.
that's for us is when we're learning classical guitar, we're
Hmm.
supposed we're supposed to be ideally learning every note with meaning, which means we know exactly how we want it to sound ideally, and we can execute that because we have the direct contact with the strings on both hands.
Yeah, I mean that's the reason I sort of fell in love with the instrument was because of being able to interact directly with the string and have so much control over sound without. And I came from a playing a little more electric guitar in the beginning, and I think that's
Yeah.
what impressed me was that these classical guitarists I saw, like the first concert I went to, I think was Dale Kavanagh or Toma Villito. Those two at some point in the same semester, and both of them I was like, they have so much control over the sound without any effects or pedals or like pickups or anything. It's just like their hands
Have you
and the
ever heard Have you
strings.
ever heard Rene Izquierdo live?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah,
Yeah, like I just said his name and
yeah.
I got goosebumps.
Goosebumps, yeah, yeah.
He every single note, man, is like everything has a position in the right hand.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
it's so good.
Yeah, but I mean that. Yeah, I mean that's a good way to define it. Is just from the sound itself. But then you kind of have to explain like, if it's someone who doesn't know what it is, you have to explain like the strings and the type of guitar it is, and
Yeah.
I mean,
But I mean, guitar is guitar. A lot of what we can do on our guitars can be implemented on electric guitar and
oh for sure, yeah.
and and steel string and whatever. Obviously, it's the right hand technique that really differentiates us from a technical standpoint.
Is it though? I mean, like for example, I had that guest Jacob Sayer on, who's like trained classically. He was also a student of Daniel Bolshoi's, and he now writes. He's a composer. He writes his own music and he plays on steel string. But it's like to me, it's kind of just in some ways indistinguishable from like Bogdanovich and stuff. Just a slightly more fingerstyle and on steel strings, But like it's
Yeah,
hard.
well,
It's hard for me to like justify how that's different,
nylon strings, man. Nylon strings react so differently to our fingers.
Yeah, but I mean the music itself, like, and the technique, because you were saying the technique is differentiated, but the technique.
Yeah, no, you're right. Absolutely right. There's a lot of finger style on steel string that can be directly 1-to-1 ratio incorporated and translated to steel string from classical.
Yeah.
And there's no difference in technique, absolutely. Yeah. But the way the string is going to react to the finger.
Oh, of course. Yeah, it's different.
There's so much more subtlety and nuance in a nylon string.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's why I don't play a steel string.
Yeah.
Not just because
it doesn't mean there isn't nuance and there isn't subtlety in a steel string. It's just a different. It's another world when it comes to nylon string.
Yeah. I think so. I think there's probably more color available in the nylon strings. I'm not certain, but I would guess so.
I'm sure steel string players would disagree with you.
Yeah, I suppose.
I'm sure there are people in the stream who might be getting pissed.
I shouldn't speak about what I don't know. Daniel Remstein says, "Hey fam." Hey Daniel, and Daniel Metisade says, "Hi, both Daniels."
To both the Daniels.
Yes.
Hey, and you played Metizade's piece recently too. I saw your guys' video.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I think you and us are the only ones with videos of that piece online.
Yeah.
Oh and no, there's Steve's recording with Francois Lasselle also.
No, François Bergeron.
Bergeron. Yes.
Yeah, and that's the I guess the original. I mean, they were the first ones that.
Yeah. But that's like a studio recording. So you and Steve is live, and me and Nathan is live.
Yeah. And I'm doing your part.
Oh, that's right.
Video.
Yes.
So you and I have
the easy part where you just go.
Easy part.
And then the other guy's like counting.
Oh my!
Poor Nathan.
Counting.
Yeah.
I love it, Mike.
Yeah, I felt bad for him when he got that part. But to be fair, on that tour, I played his sonata, which was much bigger than his solo.
You played. Your music was too hard, man.
Yeah. Anyways, it's over now. It happened.
It was a great concert though. But I just was watching you play that sonata by Nathan. I was like, man, Nathan's got to be nicer.
Well, it's a super nice piece. It's just
it's beautiful.
It's a time investment, and now it's settling more, and now I'm feeling like whenever I play it, I'm like, oh, this is like much more enjoyable because I'm not just like losing my mind from trying to execute it.
Well, when I had seen you play it, you had like 2 or 3 months of it in you, right?
Yeah, it was still very fresh.
A piece like that, that's like 2 years. You need 2 years on that piece before it really starts to sing,
probably.
Yeah,
1 year less than the toccata. Let's not talk about that. Okay, we're going
to talk about it anyways.
Before we talk about the toccata, let's play your repertoire listening test.
No.
Okay. So you know what's about to happen. I'm gonna play some.
I'm well aware.
I'm gonna play some tracks, and then you are going to try to guess the piece, the composer, and the player.
So none of these recordings are classical guitar, right? We're talking all other instruments.
No, they're all classical guitar.
I know. Yeah. I suck at classical guitar recordings. If you gave me other instruments and stuff,
you'd be better off. Well,
I'd be way better off. But
this is the thing. It's to see how much of a scrub you are. Daniel says, I bet you're going to slay on this, Adam.
No.
Probably.
No.
Okay. And you have one call in. You can ask the audience for help. So people, if you want to help Adam,
man, Tim Beattie, that guy's a freaking trivia whiz.
Yeah, he was great.
Is he online right now?
I don't see him. I don't see him in the chat. Tim, where are you?
Can I call him up and?
If you want to, yeah, you can. Just...
I don't have actually, I'm using my phone as my camera, so I can't do it. I'm sorry.
So it won't work. But Ben and Daniel are there, and I think Ioana must still be there. Ioana's done really well, so she'll help you out.
All right.
I mean, she's done really well in the comments, but we'll see how she does on the show.
All right, guys, I'm counting on you.
Okay, so beginner category first. There's 3 pieces in the beginner category. You have to name these pieces.
Pieces, composer, player.
Any idea?
Okay, that's Catalunya by Albanese, but I don't know who the player is.
Catalunya by Albanese.
But it's so slow.
Yeah, it's a very slow version. Do you want to hear a bit more later just so you can try and guess the player?
Yeah.
Let's listen to the fast section. Let's see how that goes. Where's the fast section? Must be after this, right?
Oh,
Wait.
it's
Okay, that's enough for the fast section.
it's Bream.
It's Bream, correct.
Yeah.
Joanna had it also, and Ben.
Yeah.
Bream's recording.
It's
Yes.
I can't believe how slow it is.
Yeah, it's pretty slow.
Dang.
I mean, at that point, he had no. He didn't listen to it like 8 times in competition, so he didn't have anyone to be like, "Oh, I have to play it that fast," you know.
Well, it's Bear Waco changed it for us, I think, with that recording.
Yeah, that's true.
He that's it still sounds impressive, especially that fast part, but it's like
Yeah,
at least 20 BPM under what Bear Waco would have played. At
yeah,
least.
yeah. No, it's pretty slow, but it's that was easy because it's easy to tell it's Bream also.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Okay, Adam. Thank you for
It's the
dancing.
Ala Cubana by William Walton, but I'm
The
trying to
which number of the Bagatelles?
number 3
Bagatelle.
Bagatelle Ala Cubana.
Number 3, yes, Ala Cubana. I know. Daniel Remington said, "What mics are those, Adam? Are those Rode M5?"
No, these mics are Aston laser condensers. Wait. I think actually I can turn the laser on and you can see a laser on me. Give me a second. Can you see the laser?
Ah, super cool. Amazing.
Wow.
Yes, yes, it's Ala Cubana Walton. Who's the player though? I'll play a bit more.
Can you play it a bit more?
I can give you a hint. This player teaches at quite an important institution in the U.S.
Is it Jason Vio?
No.
Quite an important institution in the U.S. is in the Southwest,
I know.
California-ish.
No.
In the New York.
Yeah. I should stop answering. This is not fair. Oh, Ben's got it in the comments.
Just one really quick question: are you ever going to repeat a player? Like, is it possible that Julian Ream can come back up?
I don't think I do that ever.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay. An important institution, New York. I'm gonna say Leisner.
Nope. Sharon has been.
Ah.
And Ben got it. Ben got Sharon has been. How did you get that, Ben? That's pretty
Yeah,
impressive.
I've never heard that recording before, ever. I know the piece, obviously, but
It's on Erato label, Great Masterworks of the Guitar.
okay. Well, it sounds good, actually.
Yeah, so you get 2 out of 3 on that.
And she does the rhythms correctly because Bream's recording of that piece.
Yeah, the rhythms are weird. I think there's something that's a little uneven at one point, but yeah, it's actually correctly played. Unlike Bream's. Bream took some liberties from time to time.
Oh man, there's so many.
So many liberties.
There's so many liberties. It's not as bad as Segovia, but it's still,
Yeah. Okay. Next one. Okay. Who is this?
Oh man. I know this piece. I've heard it so many times, but I don't know the name of it, dude.
Ben says one of those records I was glued to in grade 12 when I thought Albania's composed for guitar. We've all been there.
What's the most basic hint you can give me for this one?
Oh, David Steinhardt's got the player already. Very nice. Oh, and Alex Dunn says hi. Hi, Alex.
Hey, Alex.
Do you want to hear a bit later?
Yeah.
Ioana has it. The
Yeah,
piece.
it's Piazzolla.
Piazzolla, yeah, but which?
But what piece is it? That's the thing.
Nope.
Oh.
Not Thibaut Garcia, Ben. David Steinhardt already got the player.
Is it Judikai?
No.
No.
It's well, okay. First, try and get the piece. Yes, that's the record,
Which
David.
which
Correct.
which porteño is it?
David even has the CD. Adam.
Oh, is
Um,
it
yeah,
it's not
which
in
season? Which season?
it's
Isn't it?
not winter.
It is winter.
It is winter. Invierno
Yes.
porteño.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm bad.
Failblog.org. Um, okay. Now, who's the player? The player teaches in the Netherlands.
I'm gonna go with Marchione.
No, it's Zoran Dukic.
Zoran Dukic.
Yeah. Zoran Dukic.
Who's the other player in the Netherlands that you were talking about before?
Gabriel Bianco is in,
Gabriel
is in
Bianco. He
Amsterdam.
just joined the Amsterdam Conservatory.
Yes, they got a teacher who actually treats their students well.
Anyways,
Anyways,
I was watching your Emma Rush episode and I saw what you did to her, and that was evil.
that was rude. Yes,
That was rude.
We're all very thankful that Gabrielle is at Amsterdam Conservatory now. We'll put it that way.
Good. I'm happy to hear that.
Okay, so it was Zoran Dukic. This is a really cool CD, and David Steinhardt already mentioned it in the comments. He did this CD of Bach and Piazzolla, where he switches a slow movement of Bach with Piazzolla, a faster Piazzolla piece.
Which I should know because I've seen that album pop up in my feed so many times and I've never actually taken the time to listen to it. So I'm what I call a bad boo-boo.
And you didn't even guess. Wow. Okay. Well, you still got Piazzolla, so 1 out of 3 on that one. Okay, so in the beginner category, you got 6 out of 9. Not too bad. Pretty good. Just fell a little bit flat on the Piazzolla, but we're going to go intermediate now. You ready? I feel like we're just bobbing our heads this whole stream.
That's Fernando Sor Opus 22, number 5.
Yes,
like
correct. Oh, David Steinhardt says he does a live set of it as well for Bach Piazzolla, and it rocks. I'm sure it would rock. I wish I'd seen it live.
Yeah. So that's Fernando Sor Opus 22, but I'm trying to think of.
Correct.
Do
you wanna?
Ioana
already has.
It's a rondo. It's the rondo, right?
Or the player, I mean. Ioana has the player already. Yes, it's a rondo. You're correct.
Oh, man.
Do you want a hint for the player?
Please.
Okay. This player is one of 2 classical guitar siblings. Oh, Nathan Bredesen says Adam is my friend. It's true.
He knows me so well because I'm his friend too.
Yes, indeed.
Ioana,
I'm really impressed.
Guitar siblings, yeah. But it's really, I wouldn't.
Do you want to hear more later?
Yeah. Pepe Romero.
No. Adam Holzman.
Angel.
Adam Holzman. Every time I use one of the Holzman brothers, I'm always like, they're part of 2 brothers. And people are like, Sergio Assad, or,
Everybody goes with the Assads, or the Romeros, but it doesn't think about the Holzmans. Yeah, that's
exactly.
Right.
It's a trick question. Okay, but you got 2 out of 3 because you got the piece and composer right away. Okay, next one. Any idea?
Not really.
Do you want to hear a little bit later? I'll play a little bit.
If you don't mind.
Any idea?
It sounds like Bach.
Yes, it's Bach. Oh, Alex then says twins, Abreu Katona. Not twins. Are Adam and Bruce twins? No, I don't think they are.
No.
Yes, you're correct. It's Bach. Now, which
Bach? Now you're throwing me for a loop.
Or maybe you can guess the player from the sound.
I mean, is it Russell? It sounds so clean.
It's not Russell. It is clean, but yeah, it's not Russell.
Paul Galbraith?
Nope.
I won't get the player for sure.
It's Judica Perwa.
Ah, man.
He has that Naxos CD, you know,
Oh, man.
of Bach. But what Bach is it?
It's
It's an arrangement of.
Is it from a cello suite?
Nope. David Steinhardt had it. Judica. Ben Diamond sounds a lot like Williams. Nope. Judica Perwa. I mean, it is a Smallman though, so that's Williams.
Yeah.
Judica.
Yeah, this sounds really compressed though through Zoom. I don't know if it's because of Zoom.
Oh, maybe.
It's hard to pick out like.
Sure.
Yeah,
Blame
I mean,
blame it
obviously
on
Bream.
Zoom, Adam. Sure.
Yeah. But obviously, when you played Bream, it was super clear.
Yeah.
But it's other players, it might be a little bit tricky.
Maybe.
I'm gonna give up on the.
It's a concerto. I believe it might have been a Vivaldi concerto that Bach like reset and then was then transcribed for guitar by Judica. Concerto BWV 972.
972. Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
the one that Mio Drag plays.
Yes, exactly. That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. Okay, so 1 out of 3. You got Bach. Not bad. Okay. Last one, intermediate category. Maybe I'll play a little later section because you get the opening idea now. Here, this section.
Is that the Brouwer Sonata?
It's not the sonata, but it is Brouwer.
It's
E-
Brouwer. It's not. It's not Rito de los Orishas. No. It's
Ioana got it. It's Alexander done it is Brouwer, but it's not that piece.
No. I got the Brouwer, but I'm trying to think.
Oh,
of
it is he did get the piece right. He just misspelled it.
Rito.
Yeah, Rito.
Oh, Rito de las Orishas.
Correct. And
There, yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's not Barwaco, David Steinhardt. Sorry, Jim Greeneger is saying, have you ever listened to this one and leaving a YouTube link? Sorry, Jim, I can't open the link right now.
Ricardo Gayan?
No, it's not Guyane. That's a good guess. This is a GFA winner from Asia.
Oh, he played that in the GFA, Tengwei.
No,
TY.
it's not Tengye. It's not TY. He does play this piece though.
He played that in the. I watched it live in the GFA semifinals in 2017.
Yeah.
I remember.
He plays it in the GFA.
He's a GFA winner from Asia,
Yeah.
and it's not TY. Oh man. So Russia counts in Asia.
I guess, but he's not from Russia, this player. Do you give up?
Is there any another hint? Anything?
This player, I don't know how to give more of a hint than from Asia. No, just because I mean, other hints will be too specific. You know, if I say the country, it will be too helpful. And there
Is it Ekachai Giarkul?
Yes, Ekachai Jericho. You got it.
Okay.
2 out of 3, or 3 out of 3, because you got Brouwer and Rita de Solidicious.
I didn't actually realize that he recorded that piece.
Yeah, it's on his GFA CD. Okay, 6 out of 9 intermediate as well. You're just a 6 out of 9 guy, I guess. Hey. Okay, now we're on to the advanced category. See if we can get 6 again.
Okay, I'd like to ask the audience about that one.
Okay, he's gonna use his call in. Everybody else, help Adam figure out this piece.
So what am I allowed to do here? Am I allowed to actually go into my?
You can go look at the comments now if you want. But Ioana's already got it for you. Henze Tientos. Yes, Trae Tientos by Hans Werner.
Oh, Henze Tientos.
Yeah.
And
the player, you guys can still help Adam with the player.
Well, I mean,
Tim says, "Hey guys, sorry I'm joining late, just in time for some Henze." Perfect.
Who else
timing.
than David Tannenbaum recorded those?
I'll give everybody a hint.
I know Julian.
This is a Canadian player. That's your hint for the audience to help Adam.
Wow.
David Steinhardt says Coin Baba. Nice try, David.
This is a Canadian player.
Yeah.
Would this Canadian player have taught you in the past?
Oh, Tim Beattie got it. So you're in luck. Tim got it for you. Jeff McFadden.
Jeff McFadden recorded Dry Tentos.
Yeah, he's a Naxos CD, I guess. Of this is from his GFA Silver Medal CD.
Really, I've heard that CD. That's the one. That's the CD with the he has an arrangement of the Valses Poéticos on that.
Yeah.
CD,
Granados, right? Rodrigo Asensio Barrios Costense.
Man,
there you go.
Well, thank you to the
Jeff
audience
McFadden.
for getting me out of that one.
Yeah, good one, Tim. How did he get Jeff McFadden? That's good. Nice job. Awesome. Okay, next one, advanced one. Is this? Any idea?
Can you play a bit later in the piece?
Yeah. Any idea?
Not yet, but we can do a process of elimination.
Can you guess the composer? I'll give you several guesses.
You give me several guesses.
Yes. This is
a
a
20th century.
Yes. This composer would have been 20th century, I suppose. Yes.
You say I suppose? Like he's right at the cusp then. He's like right at the
Yeah.
Are you giving away too much information?
Yeah, maybe. I don't actually, to be honest, I'm not totally certain if this player was only in the 20th century or if this player was also in the late 19th century. I'm trying to remember.
So something like Yobet or
not Yobet. Let me check.
Definitely not Tariga.
Not Tariga.
No, I said not.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm agreeing with you. Yeah, I guess this composer was alive in the 19th century, but they probably wouldn't have been writing music at that time. So it would be 20th century.
And it's originally for guitar, this piece.
Yes. I've given you a lot of hints for the composer, Adam.
I know.
This composer was a guitarist?
He was a guitarist.
Yes.
Okay, so not the direction I was
Alexander
thinking.
Dunn says Manson. I don't even know who that is. So, Alex, eventually when you're on the show, you're going to, I'm going to have a real hard time doing this rep listening test for you, I feel like.
Oh, man, the rep listening test gets really tricky in the advanced round, dude.
David Steinhardt says Rebbe, no.
So it's not Yobet.
No, it's not Yobet. Oh my God, Adam. Early 20th century guitarist, composer. Oh, he says Melhon, damn it. Yeah.
Early 20th century guitarist, composer.
No.
I mean, but this was after Faya?
I suppose, yeah.
So this is after 1920?
I don't know exactly when this piece was composed. How is nobody getting this?
It's hard, man.
It's
hard.
Barrios.
Oh. Oh, it hurts.
It hurts.
It hurts.
Everybody in the chat should be ashamed.
No, don't be ashamed, guys. Imagine you were me right now, sitting here. It just like
nobody's saying. Okay, I know this is not a well-known piece, but it's just like all those hints and the musical style.
The thing about Barrios is that it's like a freaking bottom. His music is like a bottomless pit. There's so much that you. I feel like I'm always discovering new music. It's just amazing.
Nathan Bredesen, I'm gonna say it's Segovia. LOL. It was not Segovia.
Yeah, I was gonna say Segovia, but I knew it wasn't gonna be that.
And Tim Beattie says, "What the fuck? What Barrios piece is that?" This piece. Do you want to try and guess the piece? Probably you're not gonna get it right.
I'm not gonna get.
Okay, it's called Mabelita.
Okay.
And the guitarist is a great Greek guitarist. Excellent Greek guitarist. Do you have any guesses?
Daniela?
No, not Daniela.
Antigone?
Antigone. Yes, she's amazing.
But that was too easy of a hint. You shouldn't give me a point.
No, I'll give you a point for that.
No, you should give me
Adam Badstone says Julia Florida. It's not Julia Florida. Adam. Good try. 10 out of 10. Right next to David's Korean Baba guess for the Brower. Or sorry, for the Henza, I mean. Okay. Well, you got 1 out of 3. And David Sandhurst says Segovia did compose, though. Yeah, I think we all know he composed.
I know he did. I know.
But that was not the musical
That's
style.
not his style.
Yeah, that was Barrios. Yeah, it's Ioana. This is a CD of Barrios by Antigone Goni. A bunch of like unknown Barrios pieces, actually. It's kind of cool. Okay, next advanced one. You ready?
Yeah.
Any idea?
Is this Segovia playing?
It's Segovia playing. Yep, correct. Mark has got it. Mark Hertz has got it already. The composer, at least.
Yeah.
Not Chavez.
Okay, so
Alexander Dunn. Yeah, Samuel Laroche Pace says Segovia playing. Correct. Ioana has the piece. Very good, Ioana. I'm gonna have to make the test hard for you.
Yeah, she's really good.
Okay, do you have any idea?
It's definitely like a.
Is it an orchestral arrangement? I don't think it's an orchestral arrangement,
but it's
Alex. Is it? I don't know. Ioana, can you tell us? I don't know.
Spanish idiom.
Yes. Who's the composer, though? That's the first step.
Is it a Spanish composer?
Yes, correct. Spanish composer.
From a Spanish composer from Spain.
Yes. Where else would they be from?
They would have been, well, like Monpou, for example. I think of him as a French composer, even though he's.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, yeah. No, this is a
Spain,
Spanish composer. I mean, this composer studied outside of Spain, but we don't think of this composer as like, you know.
Torina?
No,
it's not Torina. That's not. No, I take that back. I take it back. It's definitely not Torina. Definitely not Torina.
Yeah. Oh, there's a string arrangement of this piece. Oh, cool. I didn't know that, Alex. I learned new things on this.
But it's originally for guitar, even though there's an orchestral
arrangement. I think it's originally for guitar. Even that's what I'm gathering from Alex's comments.
It's not Toroba?
Oh, I didn't know it was his first hit. That's cool, Ioana. See, I'm learning so much about this. Well, that's what you got to figure out. That's what I mean.
This exercise that you're doing, man, is going to be so good for you.
I know. I'm just going to become like an expert on
you're going to become
guitar
a rep expert.
Which is, which is really useful, seeing as how many people like to, listen to guitar music. Which is
you can impress your friends.
Exactly.
And since all your friends are guitarists, we're all going to be impressed.
Exactly. Okay, just start naming Spanish composers that Segovia played.
I mean, okay. I mean, it's really got lots of like ugliness in it.
Yeah.
So I would go with like a Rodrigo, but I don't.
Yeah, it's Rodrigo.
It's Rodrigo.
Oh, it was his first guitar piece, says Alex. Cool.
That's Rodrigo's first guitar piece?
Yeah.
Is that the
The More You Know?
He wrote his first guitar piece. It wasn't in 1925 or something?
Samuel Laroche says, "Kiss him for me. We have to teach now." I would kiss Adam right now if I could, but I can't. And plus, it wouldn't be social distancing.
So yeah. I accept his kiss though. I accept.
Yes.
Okay, so I now have to get the piece, and I'm done. I'm done with this
yeah. But you already got Rodrigo and Segovia, so that's pretty good.
Rodrigo Segovia, yeah, but I've never heard this recording before. I have no idea what that piece is. It like that? I remember he wrote a piece before the Toccata.
Yes, which was not as hard.
Yeah, and it was in 1925, I think.
Maybe. I don't know when this piece was written. I picked this blind because it seemed like a Rodrigo piece that. I mean, I've heard the piece before, but
it doesn't have a Z in the title?
Yes, it does.
It has a Z. I know I'm.
Depending how you spell the first word, but yeah.
Oh man, does that okay? If I tell you there's a Z in the title and it's from 1925, is that
Yeah,
okay?
I'll give you half a point for that. I'll give you half a point for that. It's
Oh man,
Zera Banda Lejana?
ah,
Lejana?
I would have got it with time, but I just don't
Okay.
want to. Like, it's boring to watch somebody just struggle and struggle, or maybe
Is it
people are.
this? Is it that? Okay, yeah. Okay, so in the advanced category, you actually got 6.5 out of 9. So you beat.
Yeah,
You
man,
got the
I'm
high.
not a 6 out of 9 lifer guy.
Yeah, you got the most in the advanced category, Adam.
Yeah, but that's because
You
Ioana saved my butt.
you also use your lifeline. It's true.
Yeah, my
Yes.
lifeline gave me all the points there, man.
But still, it's good. Nice job.
Okay, okay,
Okay,
okay.
awesome. Okay, we're gonna listen to some more Rodrigo now, but it's gonna be you playing Rodrigo. So
Yay!
do you want to tell us about this piece that's currently tormenting you?
Don't ever play it.
Don't ever play it. It's a trap.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
You think you want to. You think you do.
Yeah, and
Trust
then
me.
you start practicing it. And you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the
Toccata, which was
Jim Greeninger is saying, do you know why Segovia would hang on a specific note in a chord? This was part of my first lesson with him. I don't know. Why don't you let us know, Jim? That sounds like an interesting anecdote, actually. Please let us know.
so while he's letting us know, I'm gonna say the toccata was discovered in 2005,
Okay.
actually.
Yes.
So for people who aren't aware, it's
Didn't Martin premiere it?
Marcin Dila played it first.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's only like 10 people that play it right now. It's not a I wouldn't
I think
say
there's a
it's
lot of people who attempt it. Like, well, I think there's more than 10 people because I have a few colleagues who've played it in Maastricht.
really.
Yeah, but there's a bunch of students here who play it. I mean, not a lot of people play it super well, although my friend Elon plays it real well, but he doesn't make recordings. So I think there's a bunch of people who sort of study
Who
it.
play it, but who just I have no idea who are out there.
Yeah,
I've been looking all
or
over
who
the place
don't,
for
or they
recordings.
never present it publicly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
I think that
That
happens.
doesn't count.
That doesn't count. Fair enough. Okay. Whatever, Adam.
Super pretentious guy over here.
Okay. Yeah, but it was discovered in 2005. I knew this.
And it was discovered in the archives of Regino Sens de la Mazza.
Mm.
And I don't know who discovered it actually.
Yes, Alex is pointing out he recycled the toccata as the first movement of the violin concerto. I know because
Concerto
yeah.
de Estio.
Yeah, Carlo shared this with our group chat a while ago. It's really cool. If you can find the YouTube link of that and put it in the comments, I think everyone would
The
appreciate
violin
that.
piece is actually better than the guitar piece.
Well, because the violin just has to play the melody, which makes it like actually possible to phrase it.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah.
So you don't have to play the whole thing. It's like 8+ minutes long, but it's up to you.
No, I mean I'll play it. I think people want to hear it.
All right.
Yes. Okay, so we're gonna listen to some toccata. Excellent. Wonderful.
Thank you, thank you.
Nice job. People are loving it.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Amazing.
saw Tim Beatty ask a question. Actually, I want to answer that question
Yeah,
because,
he asked about technique, which was the next topic, Tim. How did you know?
well, Tim's question is actually like the thing I've always struggled with, which is tension. When I think about his question, I think about tension.
Yeah.
And when I showed it to Judicael and I started playing it for him, um, I this recording is over a year old, so I play it a lot faster now. I played a lot better, but I also play. I think I was starting to play it with a lot more tension than I wasn't when I was playing it back then
Mm-hmm.
because of the speed that I'm trying to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
And the advice that he gave me, which changed the entire way I look at this piece and the way I look at everything I do now, is um, to set like mental checkpoints from phrase to phrase, and to find places where you can completely shed all tension at all times.
Relax, yeah.
Like, but it's more than just relax, because yeah, I'm always telling myself when I'm playing this piece, relax, breathe, keep your breathing steady.
Mm-hmm.
That's always going on in my head as soon as I begin. But it's also memorizing in your music specific moments where you can go to ground zero
Like
and be
reset.
complete reset.
Yeah.
and and I was like, well, yeah, I do that in the large section. So in that recording that you played, like, I really enjoyed the way I interpreted the large sections.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like anything else I do in that piece, but I like
In that recording, you mean?
in that recording, I mean, but I like those two expressive sections because I take lots of time in them, and obviously I'm reset to zero, and you can feel that I'm breathing, and it feels more musical.
Mm-hmm.
And but now when I'm playing it, I feel I've taken the time to go through my entire score and actually highlight sections where I'm going to go and reset to zero tension.
Mm-hmm.
And so I practice sections, and then I stop there, and then I breathe completely zero down to zero. Make sure that I relax my shoulders, relax anything that's happening in my back, check my biceps, make sure I'm not flexing my biceps anymore. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the places that guitarists typically carry tension.
Yeah.
And then,
Even your face.
yeah, my face, I tend to carry a lot of tension in my face. And so yeah, that's what I've been working on consistently, and recording myself and playing it back and making sure that
Mm-hmm.
I'm making those sections as musical as possible, and to show and to put places to breathe
Yeah.
in them.
Nathan Bredesen says, I call that choreographing pieces.
Yeah,
Makes
well, I
sense.
mean, we're already doing this massive choreography, right? But it's another level of choreography that extends behind what you're actually doing
Yeah.
to the this understanding the psychological outlook on what you're doing. As there are moments, even when you're playing incessantly 16th notes, where you need to take time,
Yeah.
stop, reset, and restart, and it has to make sense musically.
Yeah. It can even be just a place where you don't have to do a big extension, right? Ross Chieson says, just practice with an egg in your mouth. That'll keep you loose.
It's funny because David Leisner has this trick where you actually practice with your mouth open, because we carry a lot of our tension in our face, but practice with
Yeah.
your mouth open and breathing through your mouth.
Yeah, you
I don't know
can't
if
really
you've
be
read.
so tense. That's true.
Yeah.
But you can't really
And
perform like that.
no, no. Well, you obviously risk the danger of it becoming part of your practice, which is why you need to do it in front of a mirror, or do it and film yourself and watch what's going on.
Right. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah,
Ioana Gandruber says, I find Walton Bagatelle 5 similar in this respect. I can imagine. I haven't played that Bagatelle, but I would
yeah. I played
imagine.
the Constancio for a few years, and it's like this piece. It's just not as long, but
Yeah.
it's incessant.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, there's
know,
no
it's like
break.
there's no break. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the last movement of Nathan
Jose Sonata.
Jose Sonata. The last movement of Nathan Sonata is also like this, the scherzo.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of like, yeah. It doesn't really stop. Well, there's a couple points where you have sort of staccato textures where you're not doing big extensions, and I think in those parts you can, like, that's what you're talking about, where you're playing quickly, but you can still find a way to relax in that moment because you're not doing
Yeah.
some
And there's some
giant.
things that we're able to sustain for longer amounts of time at high speeds, like arpeggios, rather than us playing scales for long periods of time, sustaining and trying to keep. If you look at, like, if you watch Grisha Goryachev play, he'll burst his scales, but there's always breaks in between. He's not just sitting there scaling the entire time.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but like in the toccata, it's so much scaling. It's all scales everywhere.
And there's
You
no,
know,
yeah, there's no break. Well,
I
no,
mean,
but I mean there are those sections, but they're very
there's
few
two
and far.
sections. Yeah, that's what when Judica asked me like, where do you take time to breathe? I'm like in those two sections. He's like, yeah, but it's an 8.5 minute piece.
Yeah, you don't really have. That's not really an option to just do those two.
Yeah,
Um,
you're gonna. It's basically like you tense up, you go, and then 8.5 minutes you let go. It doesn't make any sense.
mhm.
You know, you're not trying to do that.
Yeah. David Steinhardt's asking, question for Adam: did you record in sections for this piece, or did you comp from full takes? I myself would be too tired to do more than 2 takes of a piece like this.
No, that one I think I did 4 full takes
Oh
in a row.
Jesus Christ,
Yeah, it's from 4 full takes.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
Wow.
but I'm gonna be competing in the GFA. I'm gonna submit a video of the toccata, so I'm gonna have to be able to do it in one take. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
when you because we all have to submit videos for that. So
yeah, and they've got to be pretty good at this point, I guess.
yeah, and I mean I played that piece after that. I played it in competition and I played it in a bunch of concerts and everything. So I was able to get it out of my system. You know, those first few like
Yeah, the
performances.
first like month of performances or whatever.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
first performance I did it was not very good, and
yeah, yeah. With a piece like that, that's just the way it's gonna be. I mean,
yeah, it's a
I
lot
I
of
think it's almost impossible with a piece like that to play it really successfully the first few times you.
yeah. Well, it's
Um,
also like Tim was asking in his question because we kind of answered only one part, the physical stamina, but also the mental stamina.
yeah.
Obviously, if you're calming your body down at several points mentally, it's going to be a lot less work on you.
Hmm.
But also, like it's just you have to do so much work away from the guitar with that
Yeah.
type of music.
Yeah, I'm experiencing this a little bit with the Chaconne right now because I'm preparing it for my exam, and
Yeah, that's a
it's
great
like a
piece
lot
too.
of the piece is not super hard technically for me, most of it, but it's the man, it's the memory and the concentration. Like if I'm tired, I'm trying to run the exam rep every night, late at night, like just through to see how it is when I'm like at the end of the day tired.
Run it also. Obviously, do your physical warm up, but
Yeah,
run it first thing in the morning too. But do your
yeah,
physical warm up. Don't
yeah,
ask your
yeah,
body
yeah.
to just jump into a chicane.
Mm-hmm.
Like I do because I had an injury recently. I went to see a physiotherapist for a month, and we worked with a lot of heat massage.
Mm-hmm.
So like using a magic bag on your forearm. It was occurring in my right arm, and doing heat massage before you play, and then doing dynamic stretches. Don't do like like this stretch that everybody does,
Yeah,
or this stretch.
yeah.
Do that after playing, but never before playing,
Okay.
because that tires out your muscles,
Mm-hmm.
right? So dynamic stretches like do this type of thing,
Mm-hmm.
make because what you want to do before you play is you want to wake up your nerves. You don't want to just jump in and then all of a sudden
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
expected to do these crazy motions.
yeah. For sure. But I should do it after warming up in the morning also to see how it is then. But what I was going to say was that the just like the mental focus is a thing. Like I can imagine it's even worse in a piece like the toccata because even though it's shorter than the chaconne, at least in the chaconne you have a break from the same texture. But the mental focus it takes to play through a piece like that is a lot. It's yeah.
Well, yeah, 15 minutes, or the folia, the ponce folia.
Yeah.
That's like closer to half an hour.
Yeah, yeah. Or yeah,
You
or
know,
Nathan Sonatas 21 minutes. That's
21 minutes,
yeah,
man.
that's hard. Jay Bromilo is asking, what's your opinion on practicing scales, arpeggios, tremolo, etc. every day, regardless of repertoire?
Yeah, well, I mean, when you're a student and you should be doing that all the time, I
You
think.
have the time,
But
but when you're a professional, it's like,
when you're a professional, you don't really have time
yeah,
to do all that all the time, obviously. So you
every
need
single day,
to
yeah,
but you still need to warm up every day, and you still need to do technique.
yeah,
Just that you should be taking excerpts or ideas from your repertoire that fill in those roles. You
yeah.
know,
My philosophy on this is, sorry not to interrupt you, but it's just that
no,
like
go for it.
the you need to maintain once you have a good level with your technique where you're happy with how well you can execute things generally, then you need to maintain that, right? In order to maintain it, you have to include some kind of technique every day that uses those motions. I think like arpeggios, some basic scale type thing is probably good, but again it could be excerpts like you're saying. But at that point I think once you're at the level where you're pretty happy with your technique in general, it should be about addressing the things you're weak in that you're trying to improve, right?
Yeah,
So
but I mean, like Pepe Romero does his scales every day, you
yeah,
know,
that's
and
true.
like I think it's a mix of that. Like
But that's what I mean is like maintaining what you have already, or if you want to improve it, working on that specifically.
exactly, and like Dan Ramjatan says he does Tai Chi, So yeah, Dan's a guy, for example, like I don't know if you watched, he did a performance the other day. His streaming a concert series is amazing, by the way,
Yeah,
really high
it is.
quality. And
He should drop a link in the chat, actually.
yeah, Dan, you should if you're still there, man, drop a link in so that people can get familiar with your stream. But yeah, he played the Chacon. I don't know if you saw his performance. It was brilliant, and he's getting a great sound in his stream and everything too. Um, Maybe he can enlighten us a little bit too in the chat. Tell us what he does, other than Tai Chi, which is great for the dynamic stretching before you play and everything, but for the mental stamina to get ready to play a huge concert. Because if you looked at the repertoire that he was playing, it was insane.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, to build up the mental stamina to get to that point, you really need to do it in bits and pieces. You can't just learn 2 hours of repertoire off the top of your head. I know I'm just saying commonsensical stuff right now, but it's the type of thing that you get better and better at as you get older, and you've done it. And doing memory work every day, I think, has really been key for me. Um, I'm getting more into, like Dan saying, I'm looking. I keep looking because Dan keeps saying stuff that I agree with totally. Like meditation is a great idea too.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, doing meditation is not going to improve your technique, but it's going to get you into a place where you feel better and more centered, right? So that you can connect with your technique at a higher level.
Yeah, makes sense. David Steinhardt saying Ari Pepe, he used to do 120 Giuliani every single day.
Yeah, I remember taking a master class with him, and he talked about that. And
I'm like, who?
I mean,
Yeah.
I think there's a limit to that.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you can do it if you got the time, I guess, but I think at some point that's not going to be that helpful anymore. I mean,
well, it's going to be extremely helpful for a long period of time, but eventually you're going to plateau with those types of things. But Pepe is Pepe because of his discipline towards those things, right?
mm-hmm.
And it also is a way you approach doing those things mentally. Are you just sitting there and doing those 120 Giuliani studies, or are you doing them and adapting in different techniques? Like,
Yeah.
I like to look at lots of different rhythms, lots of swing rhythms or Scotch snap. I don't know if people know what Scotch snap is, but it's taking a dotted rhythm and putting the short rhythm on the beginning. So like a 16th note followed by a dotted eighth,
Yeah.
and doing all your scales with that rhythm, or
Yeah, dotted
all your
rhythms,
arpeggios with that rhythm.
both directions is good. I
Both directions, dotted rhythms, but also 30 seconds, 64th notes. Try to fit in both of them, and then
Yeah. I mean, I'm a fan of exercises that really deal with the basic motions and the basic rhythms that you have to do, basically. And I, I don't know, like, doing like all these different permutations of all these different things, how much that's actually beneficial at a certain point, as opposed
yeah.
to.
Well, one warm up that I really like to do that my teacher Jerome does every day, and it's something that Bruce Holzman showed him at Demand like 20 years ago, and he's just always does it. Is the typical, like,
Yeah.
and then I don't know if you can actually see my
Finger
left hand very
exchange.
well.
That's better. That's better.
Yeah, there we go. And then 3-2, 3-4, 2-4, 1-4,
Yeah.
1-3. And then roll them all together. You get the idea, right?
Yeah.
And then with my students, obviously everybody of my students does that, and you can do that across two strings as well.
Mm-hmm.
You can also do the pumping nylon version where you play like a chromatic. You place a chromatic scale 1, 2, 3, 4,
Mm-hmm.
and then you keep two fingers steadied and anchored while you do that with
Yeah. This is in pumping nylon, right?
pumping nylon. Yeah,
Yeah.
that type of thing.
I do that with
But
so many of my students.
Well, it's good because you need to teach opposing motion because so many of our chords are based on that.
And also finger independence. I mean, finger independence is the thing.
Well, they're one and the same. In my mind, when it comes to left hand, finger independence and opposing motion really are super important.
Yeah.
Because when you're working one finger going in one direction, you need to work another finger going in the other direction.
And also
But
the
then
ability
also-
the ability to hold other fingers down while you move other ones.
100%.
Because for beginners, this is like a hugely difficult concept.
It takes a while, but what I find is it's not just that it's not legato; it's that they also tend to lift their elbow a lot
Yeah.
when they do it, and they don't realize that the elbow should be heavy and close to the body.
Yeah.
And so it should just be your fingers doing this, right? You shouldn't be using your elbow to help you shift and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the only time you have to use your elbow is when you really have to do some extreme hand position or.
Like stuff like this,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
like, wait, for example, when I'm doing the
In the
thumb
toccata, yeah.
in the toccata. But just to go one step further from that with the technique, once I have that, then I'll ask them to do dotted rhythms. So or
Oh, that's good.
or what it was, so place the dot in different places, and then they get more familiar with that.
Ioana Ganderberg is saying, I add to that one, keeping the she's talking about the finger independence one, keeping the fixed fingers barely touching the string to have them relaxed and calm without pressing. Yeah, it's good not to produce extra tension. I always try to tell my students when they're doing that, it's like, you maybe press the string down, but you don't really press it down to the point where you'd make a good sound. It could buzz. It's fine,
Yeah, well, you have to teach them. You have to teach them how to buzz properly, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
because then that's going to teach them to learn to release and relax. Especially because often what they do is they carry the tension in their thumb pad here, right?
Yeah.
So that you'll see the thumb when you look on a student's thumb. They're often doing this behind the guitar.
Yeah.
When they're supposed to be doing that. And it's a very subtle change, but the tension's held here.
Yeah.
So by teaching them to release that tension and just move from here, they're going to get much more efficient. You're gonna be able to play for longer, and the movements are going to be more precise over time.
Yeah.
So I agree entirely with Joanna that it's actually important when you do this type of exercise not to increase, like, to make sure that the students are aware of that, because by placing all their fingers down and keeping them anchored, what happens is you risk increasing tension.
Yeah, for sure.
Even
though, I mean, having the fingers down to some extent is necessary to do the finger independence thing, but it's the question of to what extent.
Well, you have to. Yeah, I think when you're working with students, especially when it's the first time that they're looking at something like that, you really have to work at it in steps.
Yeah.
So I love
the one you start with is just the 3 fingers down, and then just the first finger going up and down.
You totally. I was just about to do.
And then just the second finger. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And then the other one will be.
Yeah. Yeah. After you've done the 4 fingers. Exactly.
And then you'll go to the sorry.
Opposing motion. Yeah. Exactly. There's also that in the pumping down. There's also that drill from Ottawa, where it's like.
This thing.
Yes, that thing, which can be handy.
So if everybody can't tell, Puppy Nylon, really good text.
It's good book.
You should be using it.
I use certain things from it. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with every single part of it, but there's so much good stuff.
I agree.
In there.
I have a kind of like go-to of texts that I use when I'm working with a student. So obviously Shearer is good, but it's very dry. So there are some things in Shearer that are really important to show.
Yeah.
Like when I talk about sympathetic motion, I'll refer to Shearer.
Mm-hmm.
But when I talk just about like left hand and technique, I'm going to definitely go into the pumping nylon. And look
left
at
hand technique for sure.
There's a lot of good things in the Christopher Parkening book. I don't know if you ever.
Oh, I've never checked that one out. No, I've used the Guitarra Lagus a bunch. The Isneola.
Sagreris is really good.
Sagreris is good. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want every single scale.
Yeah, Toma Villato's method is cool too. Daniel Ramstein is saying it's a good book. Yeah.
Not familiar with it at all.
Okay. It's a cool one.
Frederick Node, Charles Duncan.
Yeah. I mean, I also have there's exercises that I've just, you pick up stuff at master classes and stuff. And so there's a bunch that I've sort of transcribed from seeing people demonstrate them, but they've never written them down, which I try to give credit, because if I ever give the PDF to my student, it's like, well, I heard about this in a master class, but at the same time, I can't point you to a book to buy it from because it doesn't exist anywhere. So,
a great example of that for me is Jeff McFadden talks a lot about supinating and pronating the left hand when he plays.
Yeah.
And I've only seen him in master class once. But it's something that I had never read in any book before I actually talked to. Actually, I heard it from Terry Harb, who was a student of Jeff's.
Mm-hmm.
And then I heard Jeff in masterclass talk about it. I'm like, this is really important because it just, you're talking about the way that your hand is approaching.
This is one of the first things I talk about with my students, is not first, but especially students who come to me after already learning some guitar, is talking about different angles of the left and different approaches, and how necessary it is to understand both and then the grades in between, right? But I didn't know this
Absolutely.
was in a. This is in Jeff's book, is it?
No, I don't know if it's in Jeff's book. Okay, I've read through Fretboard Harmony, but I've heard about it from him through a master class, and it's something that I've always taken into my teaching now for the last maybe 2 years or so.
Yeah,
When I'm talking, and I'm like, no, you need to pronate your hand a bit more,
because
and then
sorry,
go for it.
what I find with students who come from electric guitar, especially, or just like rock guitar, like any other kind of guitar, or who have other teachers who never talk about technique. Let's put it that way. Is that they're very good at the this position,
Pronation
pronation, but they're super bad at this, especially with
at
the pink.
supination.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and it's like you have to just like trying to teach them a whole new like world basically of left hand position. It's yeah,
Yeah, that was for me. That was in Anna Vidovich's master class when I was. That was a long time ago.
yeah.
But that was it. She, you know, the passage when you're doing all the triplets coming down the fretboard in the fandango,
Oh yeah,
and she was like, yeah, but you're doing like I was coming like an electric guitar. She asked me if I played electric guitar actually because I was pronated like the entire way.
yeah, yeah,
And then she put me on the spot. She tried to get me to supinate and play those scales like that. I could not do it.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
So if you compound it by adding slurs, hammer on pull offs
Yeah,
into that, it's just
it's a
like,
nightmare.
and then that's why I kind of wrote that study I was talking about at the beginning, you know, for the left hand because I was so bad at keeping, you know, simple pronated pull offs,
Yeah,
you know, so it's something that I've been addressing for a
yeah,
while.
but I mean, with students like that, is seriously, like you kind of do the like tunnel thing where you do like in fifth position, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have to play the next string underneath that open.
Yeah,
You know, to see if they
yeah,
can actually hold the third and fourth finger. Yeah,
yeah.
that's like literally 90% of my first lesson with trial students. Like,
And so, question for you. This is my left hand.
yeah,
What do you do when you have a student that has too much of this going on?
I just tell them the wrist has to be straighter.
And what do you do when you have them doing too much of
I also
this?
tell them the wrist has to be straighter. I show them that both extremes are bad, basically.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
unless
because
except for obviously exceptional circumstances, you know.
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, so the all joints should be in their mid range basically, right? So our
Yeah.
wrist loves this, right? But it
Hmm.
doesn't like this,
Yeah.
and it doesn't like that.
You only do that when you really have to.
I don't. There's not many occasions where you have
Yeah,
to do.
this you don't have to, but
Wait,
this one
Matt,
this one you have to do sometimes.
this one you're gonna have to do event like in Patrick Rue's music when you've got to
Yeah,
like
yeah,
pull
yeah.
over a 7 fret stretch or whatever. You
Yeah,
know, like.
exactly.
But this one you should never see it. This one Matt Gould calls the server
Yeah, the server, that's good.
you know, like
Yeah.
if ever you see that, just say yeah, you're doing the server.
Yeah, that's
You know,
not
or the wait, you're doing the waitress.
yeah, the waiter, the waitress. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Jay Brumlow's asking any essential books. I think the ones we mentioned: Pumping Nylon, Kithuralagus, Shearer, Sugras.
Yeah. For me, essential is I think you should do as much research on your own, going through all of them, perusing them, doing exercises from all of them, see how they're explained. I really like Pumping Nylon because he's funny about the way he explains things.
Hmm.
It's more attractive to somebody who's just opening a guitar book for the first time, you know,
Yeah, for sure.
rather than looking at Shearer and it's just like a ton of information just being
Oh,
thrown
I
at
can't
you.
believe we didn't mention Carlavaro also.
Oh yeah, exactly. Especially with nails, if you want information
And
on
those
nails,
Carlavaro arpeggios are real good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So if I had to list my three essentials, it's Sagraris, Pumping Nylon, and Shearer.
yeah. Yeah, I guess the Kithara Lagus is a bit intense, is more for advanced students. But it's a good one if you want to go for like intermediate advanced kind of exercises.
What is that?
Kithara Lagus by Ricardo Isneola.
See, I don't even know that book. I've never heard of it.
Okay, he's Daniel Bolshoy's previous professor, which is kind of how I knew about it. It's a really intense technique book. You should look it up. It has some pretty crazy exercises in there.
Awesome, man.
It's cool. Anyways, I think that's enough about technique. It's a guitar stream. We could talk about it all day, but shall we listen to you and Steve playing some stuff? Because I know this is a big part of what you're doing now is this duo. So
Let's do it, man.
you guys have a piece here playing by Andrew Staniland. Do you want to tell the audience about this?
Yeah, so this was a piece that actually we discovered. Fabio Zanon and Grisha Goryachev premiered in Toronto in 2015,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a awesome recording of them playing it, and it's actually really like they're just like amazing musicians, and you watch them play, you can see how much fun they're having. It's just really funny to watch Fabio next to Grisha because they're very different players in their
Completely
own right,
different, yeah.
you know, and they bring a lot of different things to the table. They have the fastest tremolo I've ever heard ever. Like, go listen to that tremolo section because in the Standalone, you're gonna hear when you hear our recording of it, there's an overlapping tremolo. So
Mm-hmm.
what I do with Steve basically is on my part is half a bar earlier than Steve's.
Mm-hmm.
So every we're playing exactly the same thing, but it's all kind of like delay pedaled this way.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, so it's a really neat effect that I'm surprised more guitarists haven't used in the past.
More composers.
More composers, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And but Fabio and Grisha just played so fast. I tried to practice with the recording and I couldn't do it. I could do everything else, but not the tremolo. Not,
Wow.
it's literally physically not possible for me.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Jay Bromilo is asking any chance you could type them in the chat so I can save them. I'll get back to that comment after the show, Jay. I'll go and write them. But if other people want to write down names of technique book now, they can. And Jim Greener says good day, agents. Bye, Jim. Thanks for watching. Okay, sorry, not to derail your conversation. This piece is
Not at
called
all, man.
Choro, right? The beautiful
Choro, yeah. So it's based loosely on the Brazilian form choro. So a repeated section that comes back, and it's an homage to Villa-Lobos, and it's called the Joyful Lament for Villa-Lobos. And
Okay.
so you're gonna hear in the theme, there's a lot of back and forth between minor and major. They have that kind of dichotomy
Cool.
in the main theme.
Nice.
And yeah, it's a lot of echo effects. So because Andrew Standeland's a electric guitarist, you get a lot of that electric guitar techniques. Lots of slides,
Yeah,
lots of pizzicato or palm mute, as they would call it.
yeah.
And
Or
yeah,
face palm mute.
yeah, man.
Okay. Okay, let's listen to you and Steve play some Andrew Standeland. Nito Burrito. Very cool.
Thanks, man.
Nice. Um,
That's on our most recent album too. For people who are
yes, Focus. It's an amazing CD. Everybody needs to go listen to Steve Cowan and Adam Cicchillitti play Focus. Not just the piece, but the album. The piece also, but the album's great. It's on Spotify and stuff, right?
yep, Spotify, iTunes,
Yeah.
Amazon, anywhere.
Maybe someone can find the Spotify link and drop it in the chat. That would be awesome. Um, yes, and it is a killer ending, David. You're right. Super cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool how he comes. He brings back the theme, but he puts it over an F, and then just
Yeah, it's so crazy.
yeah.
Is it F major
He's a
7?
genius,
No.
man. No, just a straight F major.
Oh, there's no open E. Okay, it looks.
But he takes the main theme and he just adapts it slightly into the so that there are just a couple of different tones.
Yeah,
But all of that, instead of being over the E, is over the F, and it just I don't know why it just works so well.
it sounds so. It's a different world, but it's completely recognizable. It's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, awesome. Nice. So, what's your current program besides the toccata and all this duo stuff? Like, what else are you playing? I guess your and
I got
Steve's program is pretty similar to what it's been in the CD, or
No, we're doing a whole French set now. We're
oh
actually going to
right.
be playing a concert July. I mean, it's a while away now.
Hmm.
July 15th, we're going to stream a concert with Concert La Chaîne,
Cool.
and it's going to be all French, plus the Evangelista
Okay.
um, from our album.
Oh, Ross.
Evangelista.
Sorry, Ross Chesson saying, "All right, guys, I gotta go. We'll catch the rest later. Thanks for the entertainment. Thanks, Ross. See you.
Thanks. Nice to see you, Ross, Mister.
Yeah. Yes, we miss you. We all miss you.
So you're still playing one of his guitars, right?
Yeah, yeah. And
Right.
Ross, the last stream featured one of your guitars as well, Joel's. So, um,
I saw pictures of you guys when you were on your tour last year. You went out to Kingston, right? You played a concert with them.
Nathan and I went out there. Yeah, yeah. It was really cool.
The pictures were awesome. It looked like it was like there was an old brick wall or something.
Yeah, it was this like really cool old converted barn. It was amazing.
Nice.
Stone Barn. Anyway, sorry, not to derail your thing about your program. So
No, that's cool.
you're playing all
So yeah,
new.
doing a bunch of
Yeah,
Scarlatti sonatas right now. I mean, my program's changed a lot since the quarantine started because I had a ton of time to just learn a bunch of new rep.
nice, cool,
So yeah, so I got the whole 1005 on that I'm working on
nice.
Bach, and I got a bunch of Scarlatti sonatas because I wanted to eventually do a whole Scarlatti city. And
Which ones?
the newest ones are 466 and 531. 531. Oh no, I haven't put the videos up. I'm gonna put up a new video up this week.
Cool.
I'm doing like a home recording with these mics. I'm doing like this new home recording setup, and Drew's kind of mentoring me a little bit,
Cool.
walking me through the ropes because I mean I can't see Drew, and I normally what I do is I'll go like 2 days in
Yeah.
a row and to Toronto, and I'll just record a bunch of videos and then release them over the course of the year,
Yeah.
rather than go like a bunch of times to Toronto because I'm always going anyways for the album projects we have. So
Mm-hmm. Cool. Nice. And so it's Scarlatti, Bach, Rodrigo for solo stuff.
yeah, the Tanzman Scriabin variations, those.
Ah, beautiful. Da
I
da
love that piece,
dee
man.
da da da. Yeah.
Patrick's Valley of the Moon. You heard me play that a long time ago, eh?
I think so. Yeah, I know the piece because a few people play it, right?
A few people in our area, yeah, but
Yeah.
it's not played widely yet. It should be though. It's a really incredible piece.
Yeah. For the snippets I've heard, I thought were really amazing.
Fabio Zanon directed me to this incredible set of 12 etudes by Benjamin Dwyer, and I knew Benjamin Dwyer because I'm doing my doctoral research in voice and guitar,
Ah, cool.
and Ben Dwyer wrote an incredible book on Benjamin Britten. And so, and in my doctoral recital, I played the songs from the Chinese. So I was doing a lot of research on Britain's voice music with guitar. And
Mm-hmm.
so I had already known the name Benjamin Dwyer. I had no idea he was an incredible composer, and he's got this set of etudes that are out there that I think a lot of people would dig if they heard them.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'm working on that, and
Did you
yeah,
know
my whole program was
there's Nicholas Ma stuff for voice and guitar?
what?
Yeah, there is. I know, right?
Well,
Blowing
I
your
know
mind.
music of memory, of course, but I don't
Yeah, but
know.
there's a piece. There's a piece or two for voice and guitar. I haven't looked at them yet because we're not doing English stuff right now. But
Yeah, well, if have you ever done any of the Britain songs?
we haven't actually. Jessica sang them with Joel Thompson because he did them with another singer in his like degree at UBC, and then
Okay.
we played some concerts together. We did like a little mini tour thing in BC. Me, Joel, and Jessica, because Joel and I had a guitar duo, and so he already had these. So she did Britain with him and Faya with me. It was kind of cool. It was a fun concert actually, and then we did
Nice.
guitar duo. So it was a cool concept.
That is a
Um,
cool concept.
but we haven't done the Britain together, us two. So
Did you have any with two guitars and voice?
no, we
Any
didn't at that
arrangements?
time. No, we should have done something, but we didn't pull it together
Yeah.
in time. No, yeah, but
You
yeah.
must be getting tired, man. What is it, like 11 for you?
Oh, it's 11, but it's fine. I'm usually up till midnight or 1. It's all good.
Well, you're looking
This
good.
is prime time, you know. Jay Bromelo is asking, do you have any good suggestions for contrasting pieces for Reverie Regandi for an audition? I mean, do you have an idea for like a period of composition you want? Like maybe something contemporary if you want to contrast with the Regandi? I mean,
Well, the Rogandi is good for showing a lot of incredible things if you're playing, if you nail it. Um, especially tremolo, obviously.
hmm
Um, but you might want to have something that's got a little bit more balls to it,
yeah,
something a little bit more, uh, with more noise is what I would
yeah.
would like to recommend.
If you can
So I mean,
if you, yeah,
I'm playing a lot of the Rockberg variations right now, so those are really fun. George Rockberg, an American composer, wrote these really really cool variations on the Paganini Caprice, and they're arranged for guitar.
hmm
But I wouldn't necessarily recommend that for a student. I mean, Brower's got a ton of noisy stuff that you could take a look at
yeah.
and contrast with.
Don't play the sonata because it's overplayed. Not the first sonata at least, but and the other sonatas are really hard. So if you're not looking for something super difficult, maybe play like the if you want to play Brower, play those. What is the set that Danza de los Ancestros is from? You know the one I'm talking about. The Danzas y Rituales y Festivas, ritual and festival dances.
Yeah, I know
Um,
of the pieces. I don't know the
yeah,
pieces.
and one of them is Danza de los Ancestros, which is a really nice piece. It's not super hard. I mean, it's hard, but yeah,
Well, I
I
mean,
don't know.
if you're playing something of the level that is required to play the Rêverie, then obviously you've got chops, or
Yeah,
you should have chops.
yeah. If you're playing that
Hopefully,
piece,
if you're playing that piece. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with your playing Jay, but I would recommend. The Black to Cameron would have enough contrast against that.
Yeah.
It's something that I started when I was beginning. But it's
But
another really pretty piece.
it doesn't have that much noise, that piece. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. You could go for some. Well, Tedesco's also pretty, not so much noise. You could go for those Richard Rodney Bennett impromptus, but those
Well,
are also a bit dark.
how contrasting is he looking for? Because
I don't
if
know.
he's
Yeah,
looking for something like,
we need more info, is what it is.
we need more info.
Alexander Dunn is saying, "I've played Six Interiors. I'll post the live video." Yeah, please do. What's the Six Interiors? Is this a piece by this composer you were mentioning, Adam? Do you know what he's talking about?
No idea, but
Okay.
I'm thinking Bogdanovich would be good. There's a
Yeah,
lot of good Bogdanovich out there.
play the Balkan miniatures. You know.
Those are amazing pieces.
Yeah, I mean a little overplayed, but again, nice.
I don't know. I don't know too many recordings of them, man.
Okay,
But
well,
I'm
I
sure they
guess
are played.
in Europe, a lot of people play them.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I mean maybe in North America they're not often played. That's probably true, actually.
Yeah.
I've just heard them quite a bit here.
Yeah. You can. I mean, you can always throw something Spanish in there too. You know, if you're looking for contrast against the Regandi.
Yeah.
I mean, everything that Rodrigo wrote is going to contrast against that.
Oh, Alex is saying it's Ma, Nicholas Ma.
Nicholas Ma.
Oh, okay. I didn't know the Six Interiors. Six Interiors are those Ma pieces for voice and guitar you mentioned. Ah, okay. See, I didn't
Ah.
know the names of the pieces. I knew that these pieces existed, but I didn't know the names. Thank you, Tim, and thank you,
You
Alex.
see, I didn't realize that Nicholas Ma had written so much for guitar. I mean, obviously, Music and Memory is quite a
I think it
substantial
might be
undertaking.
only. I think it maybe is only the music of memory and the voice pieces, the Six Interiors.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I
You know,
guess.
it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
when you think about Britain. I mean, he did the Nocturne, and then he did the Chinese songs. He did the folk song arrangements. But
I guess
he
for a non-guitarist composer, that's a fair bet already.
that's quite a bit.
Yeah.
So Ma did basically the same amount of like time in
Mm-hmm.
terms of music.
Jay is saying anything not romantic. I was looking at some Barrios. Yeah, but the thing is, Barrios is technically not romantic, but it's kind of romantic in style. So if you really want contrasting, I would go further. Maybe play the Walton Bagatelles. Some of them, you know. The
Well,
first.
yeah, like you played the your second listening excerpt, the Ala Cubana. That's totally contrasting
Yeah,
from
and if you
everybody.
do that, and then one of the faster ones, like 1 or 5, then you have, and that has some real balls in
Yeah,
it.
just
Yeah,
don't do five. Don't
yeah,
listen to
just
the
don't
mic.
do 5 if you don't want to die.
If you want to like you know do anything else but play guitar for the next 6 months, then yeah, don't do five.
Yeah. And Tim and Alex are both Nicholas Ma experts apparently because they're both saying that he wrote a little suite for solo guitar. See, the more you know.
On top of everything,
Yeah,
okay, so he wrote more than Britain.
yeah. But Alex, please share your recording of the Six Interiors. We'd love to hear them in the chat. If you
So Alex Dunn actually did a recording himself of him
he
playing
said
them.
that he has a live video earlier in the chat. So if
Yeah,
he
I'm gonna
finds it,
watch
that would
that.
be cool. Cool. Yeah. Anyways, okay. So that's your rep. That's a lot of music, Adam. That's a
Yeah,
lot.
because I have a whole program, a whole Baroque program with Forestari and a French program with Forestari, and then I have a whole program with my flute player, and I have like 3 programs with Steve, and then I have my whole solo
Yeah,
program.
that's a lot. I mean,
It's
it's kind of
it's
what you
hard
have
to
to
maintain
do.
all of it.
Yeah, I'm still, the thing is, I've still been doing this, like, you know, the school thing where you like learn an entirely new difficult program for every year.
Mhm.
So that's a lot. But on top of that, I've had the do it with Jessica for a while too. So it's, you know, but it's also nice in a way to have 2 different programs, or at least 2, if not 3. I've had also other programs with other instruments, because then when you get a gig, you suddenly have to practice something else, and it kind of keeps you on your toes a bit more, you know.
Yeah,
So
and really the work is at the beginning when you're learning all of the rep.
yeah,
Once it's accumulated, then it's just really you're in the gray stage and the maintenance stage after. So you're always kind of going back and just
yeah.
polishing and improving what you already know.
I mean, that's the thing that's been exhausting, is just that I'm doing a new program every year for school, which is, as you know, is a different kind of thing because you're not
But
maintaining.
it's I mean it prepares you like it when you get into the real world, you're gonna be doing that all the time. You're just
Yeah,
gonna
for sure.
it's gonna be in a different kind of
Well, and
focus.
that's been the situation, like with the tour I did with Nathan. Most of that wasn't my school rep, so for that tour I had to learn an entirely other program that was not to do with school except for the sonata, you know. So all the other stuff on the program. So I just
I
mean
have to
like, yeah,
Sorry, I have to answer a question Christian Del Cantero just
yeah.
asked because
Do you think Steve Cowan is an honest man?
Christian, um, I'm gonna be straight with you, okay? Steve's, and this is gonna sound surprising. You think I'm sarcastic? Steve's probably one of the most honest men I've ever met.
It's true.
He, I don't know if Steve is capable of lying. I wonder sometimes.
Yeah. I,
He,
I
you
don't.
know, you could you could tell, like, you can see people and you're like, I know that guy could lie like it was nobody's business.
Yeah.
You know, I hope people don't think that when they see me, but it could be possible. But with Steve, I just doubt it. I don't know if he can lie.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I know he can hide stuff, but I don't know if he can lie.
Yeah. True. I think he's a very honest man. There you go,
Yeah,
Christian. That's the answer to your question.
I think he was asking the question, not expecting such a detailed and thorough
Detailed
response.
reply. Yeah. Yes, for sure. Okay, we're gonna play Would You Rather, Adam. You ready? Because
Yes.
we're using up everybody's time. I mean, I'm having a great time, but I feel like Okay, Would you rather? Oh, and Jethro says Loki. Yes, this is my cat Loki that was here for a
Yes,
moment
I
with the
just saw
string.
him.
Yes,
Or her. Is it a her?
it's a him, Loki.
Yeah.
Yes. The other one's a her, and it's Nehru. Which bonus points to anyone that knows where that name is from. Okay, classical guitar. Would you rather? Would you rather play a concert with a very small audience that really appreciates what you're doing, or a huge audience that is not very responsive?
The small audience, every time, 100% of the time.
Yeah, I would agree. There's nothing worse than getting no feedback from the audience. Not even like, I mean, clapping, but just like the way they, like the energy you feel, you know?
Yeah. No, there's like no setting for playing guitar for a large audience that has ever appealed to me, even though it's happened on a number of occasions. I mean, okay, when I'm with the guitar orchestra, yes,
Or when you're playing a
but when I'm
concerto or something.
yeah, but when you're playing guitar rep,
Yeah. Yeah,
solo rep,
it's
you want to
hard.
be in an intimate space. It's like part of what the language of the instrument is asking for.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's different when you're playing with a string quartet or an orchestra and you have an amplification and you feel like your whole ensemble can fill the space. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, it's like, well, a few months ago, I did a showcase with Steve out in Alberta, and we played amplified for a relatively big audience, several hundred people, and um, just wasn't. I mean, we had fun because the audience was really responsive and all that, but the feeling you get as a performer
Hmm.
isn't the same when you're able to connect and you're being amplified and working with people and having the stress of worrying about getting that sound when you're amplified just doesn't work for me.
It's hard. Yeah. Okay. Would you rather go on stage and play an entire concert in your pajamas, or go on stage and play the
That one.
concert? Wait, that one. Okay. Or play like sick as a dog, like coughing, sneezing, runny nose, everything.
Well, pajamas.
Pajamas. Okay. Yeah. Obviously.
I mean, a suit could technically be a pajama if you're like if you got like lots of money.
I guess, but no, it has to be like fluffy panda or polar bear pajamas.
Okay,
Yeah.
I still do it.
You still do it. Okay.
I
Nice.
still do it.
And you can't explain either. If you had to
You can't. You just throw that in there as
yeah,
at the end.
addendum. You have to learn and memorize in 1 week for a performance one of these two pieces. Which one do you choose? Tres piezas españolas. And this is like you've never played them before, okay?
Okay.
Like you've never read them before. Like
The other one, whatever your other choice
BWV 996.
is. Obviously 996.
Really? That's
Yeah.
so hard.
I've played both of them.
The jig, man. The jig.
The jig is a beast, but I played both of them, and I'm telling you, I would never ever choose the
Tres
Rodrigo
piezas.
ever.
Okay. Yeah.
I honestly, Mike, I would honestly say that the Tres Piezas is harder than the Toccata overall.
I don't believe you. I haven't played
I
either of them, and I just don't believe you.
I know. I mean, it might also have to do with the time of my career that I learned them. Like I
Yeah.
played the Tres Piezas for Ana Vidovic when I was like 20,
Right. Yeah,
and
I mean, but that's the thing. Those pieces that you play when you're still like your technique is still developing. Those can really fuck with your brain. Like I played 998 in that kind of stage, and I'm still terrified of the Allegro. I know it's not actually that hard, but I just can't like think of ever learning it again because
I think the Prelude is the greatest thing that was ever written
yeah, it's
ever.
pretty good. It's pretty good. But I just mean like I know what you mean. If you learn a piece at a stage in your development where you're still like struggling with the piece, then it kind of
Yeah.
makes a weird connotation with it.
It leaves like a kind of special trauma that you never recover from, no matter how good you get.
Exactly.
You know.
And then every time you think about playing it again, you're like, no. Okay, so 996. Okay, easy. Would you rather sight read a concerto on stage that you've never seen before,
I hate these questions.
or go on stage and play it perfectly, but you shit your pants very noticeably?
Like okay. You know what's funny is that
And
I
it's
played
like
this game.
televised.
I play this game with my wife all the time. The Would You Rather. Obviously, it's not classical guitar related, but
Right. Yeah.
and she's a monster at these. She asks questions like you just did because that's a hard one.
That's a
Like
hard one. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
yeah. Um,
The funny thing is, I stole this
because
question from a two-set violin video.
because no matter what, yeah, no matter what happens, your career is ruined, right?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, is it ruined?
Unless your name is Fabio Zanon, you're not gonna pull off like a I don't know like the Ponte Concerto in sight read.
Yeah, that's the one that I use as an example. I mean, the thing is it really ruined though if you like shit your pants, but you just like play really well, like, because then you'll be remembered as like the guy who like obviously had an accident, but like pulled it together. You know, I don't know.
It depends how old you are, man.
I guess.
You know, if you're like a healthy, 25-year-old man just shitting himself on stage, then
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
I don't know what to say. It could happen to anyone theoretically at some point, right?
I mean, it can. I'm just sorry. Like, I'm sorry that had to happen to you,
So
hypothetical person.
which one do you choose then?
I'm gonna go with the sight reading because
Sight reading. Oh, wow.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Very good.
You can't just sit there and judge me for this choice. You
Yeah.
like sight reading. Oh
Sight
my
reading.
god.
Oh man. Okay. Would you rather have your guitar go out of tune during a performance? Let's say you have to play something in drop D and the sixth string goes terribly out of tune, or would you
Okay.
have a really big memory slip and need to restart like a big section?
I'd go with the tuning because it happens all the time anyways. Like one time
Right, because the guitar's never in tune anyways.
I played on a stream with Steve, and he didn't even drop D when he was supposed to. So he played the entire freaking he played the piece like up a tone, like the entire sixth string. Every time he played a sixth string note, I was just like, oh, how bad is it gonna be,
That's
And
hilarious.
but it's not as bad as you think. Like you kind of get through it.
Yeah.
I don't think a single person in that stream actually noticed.
Yeah.
But it was a cringy for it's so hard to keep your focus when the guy next to you it just keeps hitting freaking wrong notes, but
Yeah.
it's not his fault.
Yeah, I can imagine. Jethro says that's a shitty question, Michael. You're correct. Um, okay. Anyhow, this is a little maturity for the stream. Okay, I think we're gonna have to skip one of the following recordings. Do you want to listen to Barrios or Scarlatti? Adam, what do you want to play for people?
Well, maybe this can be the recording that we kind of say goodbye to everybody with, or do you want to reconvene
Sure.
after?
Or we could do the Mampu, I guess, and just say goodbye that way. Maybe that's
Yeah,
better.
so just tell everybody that we're gonna have a new album coming out.
You and Steve, yeah.
Yeah, Steve's. It's gonna be music that's based on Parisian composers that worked in Paris, not Parisian necessarily as they were born there.
Yeah.
In the early 20th century. So like Germaine Taillefer, who was in Les Six, and Federico Montpu, of course Debussy and Ravel, Jolivet. So it's going to be a mix of stuff that we've arranged and stuff that's originally for guitar, like the Jolivet. But not many people have recorded that piece actually.
Yeah, it's not very often played.
Yeah, and then the rest is gonna be like the Ravel Sonatine. Like most of it's gonna be piano and harp music. We're taking a Taillefer harp sonata, which is a really pretty piece.
Cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Awesome.
So the piece you're gonna hear is a little excerpt, an easy arrangement from Federico Montpu's set of pieces called Silent Music.
Okay.
And what I love about Montpu is he's just so dark.
Yeah.
He's so dark.
The harmonies, yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah, he something was going on with this guy. I don't know what. There's a tragedy, like an internal tragedy going on.
Something, yeah.
But he communicated it so beautifully in his music.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. I will actually quickly do the lightning round with you two before we play this, and then we'll end with the recording. So for the lightning round, I just give you two options, and you have to say really quickly one or the other.
Okay.
Okay. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Bogdanovich or Brouwer?
Brouwer.
Ottawa or Montreal?
Montreal.
Oh, wow, that was quick. Scarlatti or Bach?
Scarlatti.
Ooh. Vanilla or chocolate?
Chocolate.
Solo or chamber?
Chamber.
Ooh. Mammals or reptiles?
Mammals.
Beer or wine?
Beer.
Claudio Abbado or Herbert von Karajan?
Abbado.
Nice choice. Pizza or pasta?
Pizza.
Liszt or Chopin? Come
Chopin.
on. Yeah. Okay.
Chopin.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not that hard.
Exactly.
I'm not a big Liszt fan. We'll put it that way. Free stroke or rest stroke?
Rest stroke.
Oh, cedar or spruce?
Spruce.
Schubert or Beethoven?
Schubert.
Breakfast or dinner?
Breakfast.
Contemporary or classical romantic guitar repertoire?
Contemporary.
Contemporary. This is before I even finish. South Park or The Simpsons?
South Park.
Nice, me too. Campanella or regular scales?
Campanella.
Campanella. Okay. Sor or Giuliani?
Sort.
Wow.
You shouldn't even have asked that.
What? No,
You shouldn't have asked it. No.
Giuliani for sure. Okay, we're gonna move on. Sweet or salty?
Salty.
Tremolo or scales?
Tremolo.
Horowitz or Rubinstein?
Horowitz.
Rodrigo or Tedesco?
Rodrigo.
Oh,
obviously.
come on, man. It's obviously
Tedesco is just fluffy.
No, Tedesco. Okay, we're gonna.
It's got he's got okay. He's got.
We're
pieces
gonna
that come
pretend
out
you
of
didn't
nowhere.
say that. We're gonna.
He's got pieces that are incredibly
Have
beautiful
you
that come out
even
of
read
nowhere.
through the Caprichos de Goya? Okay, we're going on.
I played through the Capriccios de Goya, my buddy.
Okay. Well, I don't know how you could call
I
that.
also played the Capriccio Diabolico, and I played his concerto too.
I don't
so
know
I
how
his
you
music.
could call that fluff. Okay, we're gonna move on. Concert or masterclass?
Concert.
Restoration of the composer's intention or personal interpretation?
Both.
You have to pick. That's the whole point of this.
Composer's intention.
Composer's intention. Wow. Okay. Very bold. Bream or Segovia?
Bream.
Mountains or beaches?
Mountains.
And the most important, carbon or nylon?
Nylon.
Nylon. Wow.
Nylon, obviously, because carbon sucks.
No, carbon is the like.
Except your G string always has to be carbon. Otherwise, nylon.
Carbon is the future, Adam.
I've played carbon strings for many years, my friend. I will never go back.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
Good for you.
But specifically nylon, it's got to be Augustine Regal.
Yeah. Nice. Okay, well, everybody, thank you so much for watching. We're going to play this recording and sign off
Thanks
right after the recording.
so much, everybody. We love you.
It's been amazing. Yes, you're all awesome. And thank you, Adam, so much for your time and for your patience with me and
This
for
was
your
really
wonderful
fun,
answers. Man. Yeah, it's been great. Yes. Oh, and I should announce. Oh, I almost forgot. This is very bad. I want to thank my patrons, Mitchell Kotansky and Michelle Wilfong Oliphant, very much for your support. And for people who want to support the show, there are ways to do it through Patreon or PayPal, which also can go to the artist. And in this case, Adam wants to donate any proceeds he makes to the Ottawa Guitar Society, which is an awesome organization. And also, I want to just quickly tell you the people, the upcoming guests on Saturday. I'm not streaming on Friday this week because Friday is my birthday. So
Friday's his birthday.
So I'm not going to stream because I'm going to just sit on Zoom and not live stream it this time with friends. So Friday, I'm going to stream on Saturday with Tom Klippinger, who's an amazing guitarist in Texas who plays a ton of contemporary music, works with a lot of composers, plays a lot of really unheard amazing music. So that's going to be super fun. So Saturday with Tom. And then next week, June 2nd, is Ioana Ganzerberg, who is in the chat today, who's an amazing.
Woo!
Ioana is amazing. And then
she's an amazing player.
Yeah, amazing player, amazing pedagogue. Yeah, she's gonna be great. And then Friday the 5th is it Friday the 5th or 1 second? Yes, Friday the 5th is Brandon Asbill, who's an excellent guitarist out of Oregon. So Tom, Ioana, Brandon, and before we finish the stream, let's listen to you and Steve playing some Mampu.
One question really quickly.
Yes.
How many people from those that you have had on your show so far are people that you know well? And how many people have there been any complete strangers?
I did not know. I mean, I knew of her, but I did not know Irina Kulikova at all before. I'd never talked to her before she came on. And who else? I have some people coming up who I've never met in person. Next month is Stephen Dentom, who's a luthier in Germany, is coming on with Filip Alavolich, who plays one of his guitars.
Cool.
So that's cool. And I've had a few people I don't know, like in the roster coming up. I'm trying to think if there's any other people I had who I've never met. Oh, I'd never talked to Rosie Bennett before she came on. I mean, I'd only messaged with her a bit. So yeah, Rosie.
You're gonna be like a celebrity after this is done, man. If ever, you might just continue forever. But
I'm just aiming to become like the Joe Rogan of classical guitar, but less annoying.
Yeah, and then maybe you can make $100 million selling your freaking show to Spotify. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, guys, we got to get to the point where I can sell it to Spotify for $100 million. Come on.
Come on, guys. You guys are slacking. Get on there.
Yeah.
Get on YouTube.
No,
Subscribe, like,
what I have
share.
to do is I have to cut up the videos. People keep telling me to do this, and when I have time, when school's done, aka when school's over, I will hopefully do this. But I need to like cut the videos up and then like give them clickbaity titles, like Adam
Yeah.
Cicchillitti spills the beans on Steve Cowan, and then have like you and Steve in like the thumbnail and like.
Yeah.
So this is what I actually have to do to be as successful as Joe Rogan. So we'll see.
Yeah, I know. I know. I know.
No, but I mean, hopefully I'll get to doing that kind of stuff when I have. I'm also doing
Awesome.
too many streams right now. I think I'll move it down to one a week once the situation's over. I'm just doing a lot right now because we're all stuck at home and yeah.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, anyhow. Okay,
Well,
enough about
good,
the
good,
stream.
good for you for getting this done, man. A lot of respect and admiration from my end.
Thanks, man. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm super lucky that so many people have been game to do it. Like, obviously, this wouldn't happen without people being willing to come on and spend their time, which I really, really,
Well,
really
I like the
appreciate.
Rene Izquierdo conversation was epic. It was a great interview that you had with him.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. He was great, and he was so generous with his time, and
He was generous and he's just funny. You
yeah,
know,
for sure. He's
yeah.
a super generous person. That's the thing, and
People got to go check it out. Anyways, there's a lot of great
yeah,
conversations. I've
it's
seen a
on
bunch of
YouTube.
them.
Actually, if you go to the Patreon link in the description, I have all the videos there. So
Sweet.
they're also on YouTube, but if you just go to the Patreon, they're all sitting on the page there. So, and you don't have to be a patron to access them. You can just watch them. So, okay, let's listen to the Mampu, and thank you again, Adam. It's been amazing.
Bye, guys.
Okay.